G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today we're not on the road, we're going on a ship, and what a ship. It's MSC World Europa, one of the biggest ships on the planet. I'm here with the kids and we're about to do a 7-night cruise around the Western Med. We're going to Sicily, Malta, Barcelona, Marseille, Genoa, and then coming back here to Naples. In this video, I'm going to give you a full tour of the entire ship. I'm going to give you a review of everything it has to offer, and to explain to you what the experience is like doing it with the kids. I think it's going to be great fun. Let's jump on board. Okay, well, we're all checked in. It was actually really painless. They just took our passport information, took a photo of us and printed out these things because we didn't have actual tickets. And the queue was really quite short. I was expecting a horrendous check-in considering how big the ship is, but yeah, like straight on. And we're pretty much here for opening, but I think they only opened check-in 10-15 minutes ago. We're really happy with that. And got some juices here as well. They're obviously prepared for more people to be here, so maybe people arrive late.
Very cool. Chocolate strawberries. It's actually quite spacious. Yeah, how did you not see the bugs? Go see the bugs. What? 2 bugs? It's bugs. Whoa!
You're sleeping under the bed.
Well, this one's bigger.
Are you guys in the bathroom?
Yeah, no. The bathroom? Did you just ask if there's a bathroom? They have extra dark wine.
Oh, yeah, 2 bottles of champagne.
Wait, I gotta do the thing where you like...
Now just a quick note before we get started. This is the biggest video I've ever done. It's huge, and I'm sure you've seen how long it goes for and gone, geez. Now I have covered every single bit of this ship, and you're going to learn everything you could possibly ever want to know about MSC World Europa as you go through it, but I've avoided talking about in-port experiences because it just would have turned into a marathon watch. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do separate videos on each of the port days, so make sure you subscribe and you get those delivered to you as soon as I get them live. Remember, you can also make use of the chapters if you want to jump ahead to anything in particular. Okay, so we're nearing the end. We're a week in to our MSC World Europa cruise around the Western Mediterranean. It's time to do that ship tour. Now it's going to be a bit challenging. This is a huge ship, and even though I've been on here for a week, I still feel there's a bunch of places I haven't seen or found yet. But I'm going to do my best to cover it all for you. And I'm going to do my best to give you some thoughts and opinions on what the experience is like in case you're either wondering whether it's right for you or if you're already going, just so you know exactly what to expect and can prepare accordingly. Now, as always, well, not as always, but usually I try and start at the top and back of the ship. I don't know why. I just did it the first cruise review I ever did, so I tend to do it all the time from then on in. Okay, well we are on right now deck 18 of 21, and down there through the glass you can see some people moving about. That is deck 8. So we're going to start up here. We're going to go up for a bit. We're going to go down for a bit. We're going to go up again, and eventually we're going to end up right down the bottom. It's probably as far as deck 4, I reckon we'll go. And I'm going to give you as comprehensive a tour as I possibly can. Now out here we've got the Zen Bar and the Zen Pool. This is the adults only section. Out the back with a look out, well, currently over Genoa in Italy, which is we're getting off at Naples, which is the next stop. And through here you've got the World Promenade that you're going to see down the bottom. Now we're going to go explore that in a bit more detail once we get down to level 8. And there's the venomous slide. So anyway, I'll give you a bit of a tour for up here, staying up here. Now there's lots of nooks and crannies, little things I'm going to miss along the way. I apologise, there's just so much going on. For example, there's stairs there, I'm not really sure where they go. I think they go down, I actually don't know where they go at all. But so we've got a pool up here. So 2 pools, no hot tubs, just pools up on the Zen Bar, but yeah, no kids. 1.5 metres. So as you can see, lots of chairs, and I've got to say, despite the fact that this ship is so huge and there are so many people on it, there has generally been deck chairs to be found. Good spots like this, you know, with a nice big comfy sofas, or there's in the Botanic Bar, which I'll show you later. You'll come across swinging chairs and nice comfy lounges. They're pretty tough to come by. I've only really managed to get them at very obscure hours for very brief moments of time. Now they do have they very clearly stipulate no reserving of seats. I don't know how they enforce that, or even if they do, we never tried to do it. But I hope they do enforce it. But like I said, we haven't had too many problems getting at least a couple of seats, which is all you generally need with the kids, because the kids generally don't use the seats. So you just need one for mum or dad and a base, and then the kids spend the vast majority of the time doing stuff. Maybe if you've got an older child who likes to read, my daughter does like to read, you might need to get 3. But yeah, we haven't had too many problems. And I should say this cruise, I've heard from a third party, so not official, that there's 5,900 on here at the moment, or 5,800, something like that. It's about 1,000 short of the full capacity, but still a lot of humans. Okay, so we've just come up a floor, as you can probably tell. Now basically what we've just done is we've gone between the 2 buffets. I'll take you to the buffets in a second. But you've got the Il Mercato, which is on level 18, so that was that way, from the Zen Bar, which you can see there. And then you've got the La Brasserie at the top, which is going that way. So I'll show you those from the front when we get around to it, because I want to stick outside for the moment. And I've tried to pick a time, there you go, La Brasserie. I try to pick a time where it's going to be not too busy out here. So basically we're still got another half an hour or so before last board on the ship. And also I wanted to try and get up here as well before we're moving, so it's not blowing a gale. So here's the Venom ride, which is super cool. Goes down from floor 20 to floor 8. It's 12 floors. Winds down, you'll see it more from the bottom. You can come up, get a mat. It doesn't go awfully fast, not as fast as you would think, and it gets faster during the day. Like the more people go down it and kind of like, I guess, just wipe down the steel, you go a bit faster. But the queues haven't been too bad for it. You see, it's a little bit of a wait now, but not awfully bad. And I'll talk about the queues a little bit as we go through this. I know that one of the big complaints people have is with the ships these size is that you spend the whole time queuing. Hasn't been the case, I've got to be honest with you. On the at-sea day, there's only one at-sea day. Obviously that was a bit more challenging, but in general, it's only really the buffet, which is a real nightmare for crowds. Otherwise, it's pretty good. So on the back here, So again, we're on deck 20 now. You've got another huge space with a ton of deck chairs, but aren't really looking at anything in particular. They're kind of away from bars. It's not the most special of spots, I guess you could say. And it's interesting because we go down to the those you can see those are the walkways for the buffets. So that's the 19 buffet, that's the 18 buffet, connecting to two wings that kind of span down this back section of the boat. You will come across these everywhere. So it's screens with all the information you need, where specialty dining is, what the daily program is. There's obviously a mobile app that sorts all that stuff out for you. It's pretty good, it's pretty clear, it's pretty obvious what you got to do. It all works pretty well, or it all works well. And the internet, if you get the internet package, is pretty. I haven't really noticed any issues with it anywhere on the ship. Like I haven't really come across any dead spots. Some spots aren't as fast as others, but nothing particularly outrageous. So there's a lot of space up here for deck chairs, but there's not a hell of a lot of other stuff going on. No go-kart tracks, no surfing waves, no trampolines, no rock wall climbing. The big feature out the back here is, of course, the waterworks. So we've got the Venom slide, which we've already seen. So this is the Aurora Borealis Aquapark. You've got 3 different water slides here. The blue one, which is just a single kind of water slide. The green one, which is the twin racer. And then you've also got the pink one, which has a drop at the start of it. Now, depending on your height, you've got to be a certain height to be able to go on the drop. Height or age? I think it's height. No, maybe it's age, so let me go check that. My 9-year-old couldn't go on it, he was devastated. I think it's age actually, because my 12-year-old was just able to go on all of them. So no matter what age you are, including the adults, you've got to sign a waiver and get a wrist strap before you're allowed to go on it. And then it says here, look, I know it is height, 140 for the drop, or 130, 130. There's a weight limit as well of 136 kilograms, which I was well under before all the buffets. But now, I don't know. But it's pretty cool, they're pretty good, they're good water slides, they're fun. I like the clear passageway as well, gives you a bit of a freak out when you come flying around, you can just see the drop outside. So in general, I'm pretty happy with the waterworks, except for the opening hours. They're really, really challenging opening hours here. So they don't open to 10:30, I think it is. So I'm just going to back away a little bit because I don't really want to stand there filming people in their costumes who don't know why. And it closes at 6, regardless of what you're doing. So, for example, the first port we went to, which was Messina in Sicily, we didn't even leave to 8 o'clock, but they closed it at 6. So there was still 2 hours before the ship even left, and everybody wanted to use the waterworks, and you couldn't. And I asked the guy, I said, why are you closing? And he said, his answer was, well, I'm in the show tonight, so I've got to go and eat and get changed and get ready for the show at 8. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, fair enough. Because I'm going to go through a touch on this quite a bit during this review. They definitely feel quite understaffed. There's a lot of the biggest challenges I've faced on this cruise have been to do with just what appears to be just understaffing. Now they've also closed this for reasons which are just ridiculous. So we had one rain day on this cruise, and so you got the ports, right? The reason why the opening hours suck is because the ports are every day bar 1. So you're usually off the ship before 10:30, and then you usually get back like anywhere between 4 and 8, depending on the port, and then it closes at 6. So it's just really hard to actually, I really struggle to get on it because it's just never open when I need it to be. And then we got back on one day at 4:30, and I went, yes, I'm going to go on the water slides. And I came here and they closed it because, quote, it was raining. And I was like, why does that matter? And they went, well, it's just, for safety. I went, it's a waterwork, dude. Like, and there were people other than me coming up just going, what do you mean it's closed because it's raining? They said, oh, you know, it could be slippery on the steps. And I went, okay, but no slipperier than usual, because we're usually coming down the waterworks, get soaking wet, then walking up soaking wet. Plus all the other steps were still open. So I think they really need to work on that. They've got this great facility here. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the actual included experiences that you can have. And it's just not open long enough. And it gets closed for ridiculous reasons. So, yeah, a bit of yay, a bit of nay on that. Now around the corner here, so there's in there there's a Sportsplex, but we'll get there in a sec. I'll just walk you around. You've got the kiddie pool. So this is pretty cool. Again, this got closed when it was raining. I've got to say that there was no lightning or no thunder at all. In fact, quite the contrary, it was sunny, like, you know, you could see the sun poking through. So you got little slides in here, little water guns. It's not the most exciting of splash parks in the world. There's a lot of mist coming through. Sorry, just trying to solder through. Probably gonna have to get the camera wiped. Just a sec. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so it's cool that they've got it. It's a nice shady spot, and the little kids have a lot of fun in there. So that is good. Now, back up to, that was floor 20. We're going back up to floor 21, or we're going up to floor 21, just so I can show you what's up here. So you've got more deck chairs lying all the way along here. And then you've got the highest hot tub on the ship, which is around here. Now, I'm going to bring this up because unless you're part of the MSC Yacht Club, the only way that you can see what's happening off the front of the ship is pretty much from up here, unless you're hanging over the spars there. So, I'll talk about this a little bit more in a sec, but the whole front end of the ship is fenced off for MSC Yacht Club, which I really don't like. I really think that on any cruise ship, you should be able to at least go to the front somewhere and look off the bow, see what's happening. No, they've got nothing, no lounge, no gym at the front. So it's pretty much a case of, up here you can kind of see past the front a little bit, and there's just some spas that kind of, the hot tubs that kind of hang off the side, you can kind of see. And I think maybe down in the panoramic lounge down the bottom, one of the lounges, one of the theatres, I think you might be able to see a little bit. But yeah. But up here you got this hot tub, and they call this the sun deck. Up here now, there's no bar up here, so it's just the hot tub. And I will say they have nailed the hot tubs on MSC World Europa. Not only is there stacks of them, as we'll go into in a sec. In fact, I'll show you right now. It's a good spot to show you. Oh no, it's not. I need to be on the other side. But not only are there lots of them, but they're huge. Now they do, every now and again, they've got like a 12-person cap on them, and every now and again they enforce it, and they just randomly come and just tape it off and go, no, there's more than 12 of you. But the vast majority of the time they don't. And I've noticed they tend to enforce it most in the Botanic Bar. I've never had them come up here and say, oi, there's too many of you. So maybe there's a weight restriction with that one. But also potentially, and also they don't let you have drinks in the spa, which is a bit of a shame because nothing beats having a cocktail in the hot tub, if you ask me. Sorry, I'm Australian, so I'll say spa when I'm referring to a hot tub, because that's what we call them in Australia. But I'll try and call it hot tub because it's obviously a spa. All right. So we're going back from 21, which is up here, back down to 20 now. And this is the spot that is circling back around towards the waterworks. So for the sake of completion, I will take you back and then we'll go into the Sportsplex. Now there's a lot of, here's a little bar here, Zest Bar. So that's your closest bar, I guess, to those the whole back of the ship. Looks pretty cool, looks pretty fun, pretty funky. Got a lot of slurpees, like alcohol slurpees and so forth. But yeah, so there's the waterworks, as you can see around there. And also, I forgot to mention before, obviously quite a big hot tub / whirlpool out here at the back as well. Okay, so let's go into the Sportsplex. Okay, so in here, you got this space, which is sizable, not huge, not the biggest space in the world, but big enough. Oh, there's a neat trick. Big enough to have rollerblading, to have dodgem cars, which you can see out the back there, soccer games, basketball games. They haven't. Honestly, it's been really hard to keep up with. It's been really hard to keep up with the activities because of all the port days. So we've just been in port so much that we haven't been keeping up to all the activities. But the kids have loved the dodgem cars. The kids have loved the rollerblading. Although, as I'll go into, one of my kids did stack it pretty bad, which is no fault of the cruise ship. They're just that's what happens when you're rollerblading. Let's show you what's in here because there's another bar. Bit of foosball. A nice little space to sit here, and that goes into the bowels of the ship. We'll get there in a sec. So I'll just take you upstairs. Yeah, but I haven't really noticed a heck of a lot of like kids soccer or kids basketball. So there's one time we came in here, for example, to play some basketball, and there were just adults dominating the whole court. So the kids kind of gave up on it, and I had a look at the time to go, oh, well, surely they've scheduled a kids' time, but I couldn't see one. I'm not saying they don't have it, I just couldn't see one at the time for later in the day. But then I come here at other times and there's just been kids playing soccer, so I think it can go both ways. And then they do things like the dodgem cars, I think, on the at-sea day, they went for like 3 or 4 hours. And the rollerblading, I don't know how that one goes for today, but obviously when that's happening, it's dedicated space to that. You got a few more little kind of arcadey things up here. These are all paid, so it's €4 or $8 Australian to have a game of air hockey. I'll let that just hang. Up the top here. Okay, all right. Let's just go back down to the deck. Okay, so there we are in there with the Sportsplex, sorry. Here we are on floor 20. Now the elevators, I need to talk about these elevators, man. So probably the biggest pain point is the elevators. You can wait so long for an elevator. They got this system as well, which is just really doesn't, it's all feature rich and functional, but so you press a button, let's just say you want to go down to deck 8, and it'll tell you B. You look up, and you find B, it's over there, lit up. And you could be waiting 2, 3, 4, God knows how long. But the thing is, other elevators will open and close, but you don't know where they're going because it gives you no indication. So you can't work out if someone's going in generally in your direction. You can just jump in. You can't obviously go in and press a button once it's here. It's all automated, it's all algorithm driven, and it gets it wrong a lot, and you can wait a long, long time. In fact, almost every time you wait a long time. So the elevators and the walk up, I'm telling you, it really gets you, especially after you've been in port for a whole day, walking the streets. To come up 6, 7, 8 floors is hard work. Okay, here's the gym. So let's have a look at the gym. It's directly opposite the Sportsplex on floor 20. So everything's brand spanking. And it's pretty good space, pretty well used space. And all the kit is really good. So I don't know where to start, but there's dumbbells, there's lifts for legs, lifts for arms, lifts for necks. In here we've got a bit of a studio, it's a stretching space. They do have a couple of basic classes that you can do, like, you know, like stretch classes and stuff that you can do at no cost. But stuff like yoga, things like that, comes at an extra cost. And then pretty much your outlook is you can kind of see a little bit off the front of the ship. So if you're on the corner here, for example, you can kind of get a bit of a look down there. But for the most part, you're looking down on the pool deck, so good for people watching, I guess. But not the typical location of a gym on a cruise ship, which is usually the front overlooking the ocean. I'm not saying it's a positive or a negative. They've all got screens anyway. Yeah, so all fresh, all new, very clean, all the equipment. I think they've done a really good job in here with the gym. I haven't personally seen it like full, but it does steadily have people in it. Most of the time, it's when I'm sitting in the hot tub that I look up and go, hey, there's actually people working out right now. You can see it's starting to fill up now because everyone's just got back on board. So timed it a little bit badly, but I'll do my best. And there's another little studio over here. Okay. So that's the gym experience on MSC World Europa. So let's go back out the front. Okay, so let's just catch up on what we've done here. So we started out the back here at the back of the Zen pool. We walked up around the Zen bar. We came upstairs to the back of the Brasserie buffet. And we went up again, saw the Venom, which is the big slippery dip, saw the water park. And then we did a walk around the Surfers Bar and Sports Complex, came up and had a look at the sun deck. And we've just come down and had a look at the gym. So all of that, and I've only done this little bit here. So while we're on this side of the ship, instead of just walking straight out over the pool, which doesn't actually start to floor 18, I'll go down, I'll quickly show you the buffet experience. And this is also the kind of kids club area. So let's go have a look at that. I should point out this as well, like as you're kind of going down, you can see it's, like they've got this big mirror here. And the kind of white tiles, brown steps, blacks. It's not like some cruises have a lot of art, even sculptures, things like that. I think it's not a bad looking ship, don't get me wrong, but this will just give you a bit of an idea of it's so big that I think they just use neutral colours everywhere, and I think it looks really new and looks futuristic with all the screens and everything like that, but you don't kind of get that older school character that you get on some cruises. Okay, so this is the Brasserie Buffet, and then we've got the Il Mercato below it. Now they're pretty much mirror images of themselves, so they offer the same food experience. What I can tell you is that the La Brasserie one is probably half the size, and has probably about 75% of the same food. And downstairs is the big one, Il Mercato. All right, let's go look at the buffet experience. And the buffet experience is pretty much the same each day. You get some slight variations. For example, one day you might get potato wedges, the next day you might get hash browns, you know, slight little variations like that, but more or less it's the same. Now I've come down here, this has only been open for minutes. I just wanted to show it as best as I could, because when I filmed the lunch buffet it was so crazy. So I've come down here as early as I possibly can. It's 7:02 when it opened at 7, so I can try and show you it without too many people around. Alright, so we've got some fruit over here. The birch muesli. For example, you don't get the pineapple upstairs, but you get the pears. So slight little differences with the upstairs one, but more or less going to give you a good idea. A few different cereal types over here, including Cocoa Pops for the kids. They don't really have, they've got like basic yogurts. As you can see here, apricot yogurt, plain yogurt. But they don't have any like Greek yogurt or, yeah, it's not particularly nice. Like the premium yogurts, you know what I mean? So some mornings you have donuts, sometimes you have donut balls. It gives you an idea of some of the pastries, some of the desserts, it's always desserts. Bacon, sausages, today it's potato Today it's just potato bits. Baked beans, eggs. Scrambled eggs with, this time with spinach in it and mushroom. Yesterday it had a bit of salmon in it. So again, little variations, but not massive. Okay, now, on this deck, you don't get it on the floor 19. You can self-serve yourself some booze. If you just tap your card, give yourself some wine, some Heineken, house wine, house beer. Or you can do soft drinks. Again, you just tap your card. If you've got the package, it just works. If you don't have the package, you get charged. Here we got some fried rice and the very small amount of oriental stuff that they do. Some more eggs, including pre-made omelettes and fried eggs. Now, there was one morning they did have a guy actually making omelettes. I only seen it on the one morning. And it was a good omelette, it just took a while to do, but it's good. So kind of a bit more of a kind of Greek salad option you can put together here. So a little bit of salad. Cold meats and cheeses. Cheeses do change a little bit each day, but the meats have been pretty much the same. Well, the meats do change a little bit, but the salamis are always there. This one changes. Bread options, if you want to get it toasted, you have to ask them to do it. The toaster's over in the corner there. So the toast just kind of sits there a little bit. You get some few interesting things over here. Oh, there's the donut balls. They're always good. Sticky bun. Pancakes and... sometimes they have waffles here, but... And some more... And more... Sorry, more fruit. Haven't quite woken up yet, I apologise. And another bit of savoury action over here. Now in terms of seating, there's a lot of seats, there's a lot of benches, there's a lot of different places to eat. You can see, like, the sun hasn't even come up yet. But it gets so packed in here, like sardine stuff. Like, it's really a test of patience. The quality of the food is fine. It's not mind-blowing, but it's certainly not bad. Like, it's all done pretty well. They've done a pretty good job keeping stock up, and there's up to 6,900 people on this ship. Guess that is. So I'll take you through this because there's more food, but I have the understanding that it's 5,900 people at the moment. So very soon this will be absolutely packed. I have had mornings where I haven't been able to get a seat and I've just walked around and eaten my cereal just kind of standing up. And it can be a real test of patience, as I said, just trying to handle the crowd. So you've got another run of cereal up here and the yogurts and so forth. I don't know why this hasn't been open once, which is just access through the other side, but it hasn't been open once for any of the meals. It is upstairs, it's open upstairs. You got some juices here that's like drink, not juice. So it's just cordial basically. Water and ice. And coffee machine here with basic coffees. Otherwise, I've got if you got the premium drinks package or one of the drinks packages, there's a vegan corner over here. So a few options there, not much, but a few. And then yeah, more meats. Oh, they've got this one section on the back here, Oriental Delights. It's pretty basic. Today we've got dumplings. Often there isn't dumplings, but yeah, pretty basic stuff. Let's head back to the front. So here we are back at the entrance. I just wanted to show you the other way, what to expect. This is where you're going to find the bar. So they will do table service, but when there's so many people in here, that can take a long time. So a lot of people do go just queue up there. I'm going to show you this little area here because it's actually outside little balcony area gets forgotten about. So if you can't find a seat or a table, this is sometimes a good place to go. Now, you also got the outside view down into the World Promenade down there. It's pretty spectacular. So this is a little secret area it's worth knowing about. It's not, obviously not very secret, but it can often be a good place to snag a table. Now if we head down this way, it's pretty much going to be more of the same. Some dried fruits on this side. I can't remember if we saw that on the other side. Slightly different yogurt on this side. Strawberry yogurt, there's apricot yogurt on the other side, if you picked it up on that. Otherwise it's going to head all the way down there. It's going to be more or less a mirror image of what you've got on the, let's say, port wing. No, sorry, it's starboard wing. So I'm walking towards the back of the boat right now. I'll just quickly show you up here, because there is a little bit more difference at the back here, which is good to know for both breakfast and lunch, and I guess dinner as well. But they have a bakery slash kind of, yeah, just slightly different area back here in the corner where you've got a few variations, including some breakfast pizzas. That's what is that again? That's potato, honey and something. It's quite nice actually. So again here, at lunch for example, there's pizza here. There's no pizza anywhere else in the entire buffet. And there's also some more drink options up here which tend to get a lot quieter. And if you come up this back corner here, sometimes there's some stuff up here that's a bit different. For example, there's broccoli here. It was zucchini earlier. And this is where I got the omelette. But, oh yeah, see, you can make your own omelette. So this is the spot that you can come and ask for an omelette. It's the only spot in the whole buffet. And once you can circle out there to the outside world, but then I'm pretty sure that they want you to come back in through the main entrance, or maybe that's through the other way. It's kind of how they circle the human river. All right. Now over here they have like a kind of a permanent bakery slash pizza bar. So we've got different focaccias, some garlic bread. Today we've got something different here, which is dried spaghetti or something. Muffins and a couple of pizzas as well. The views out the side are spectacular, so high up for 18 and 19. It's just a nightmare. By the way, this is closed at the moment too. We're actually past the hours of opening. This is how busy it is. Is that sea day? A few more bits and pieces down here. This does change a little bit. What have we got there? Stuffed eggplant. The roast again, roast station. Your salad, and then up here is your Oriental Delights, which, to be honest, has been pretty embarrassing. Every time I've gone there, it hasn't been worth eating. Actually, I just found this spot at the back. Look at the little mozzarellas. It's called the Mozzarella Factory. And they've actually got some pre-made sandwiches, exactly what I was looking for. And some nice looking salad options as well, including homemade mozzarella and olives. A whole range of desserts options at this bar. And then from there, it's pretty much a replication of what we saw on the other side and what I've experienced thus far. So you don't, it's more or less the same. Sorry, it's so hard to move around in here. So you just got to be able to embrace the chaos. Because yeah, you can easily get really frustrated. There's constantly people swerving in front of you. I find the Europeans to be really challenging It's just every man for themselves, constantly. They just don't care. So, anyway, I'm going to call that quits. Sorry, I really tried to find a moment where it was quiet enough in here to give you a good enough, easy idea of what it's like, but it's been like this every time I've been in here. But I don't want that to put you off. I think it's a pretty decent buffet. It's just chaotic. So you just got to be able to embrace the chaos. Hope you find a seat. I mean, there's a few spare seats there, so it's not too bad. And they're pretty generous with the opening hours. It's open for a long time. And on top of that, even when it says it closes at 3, it's 3:15 now. You can see how busy it is in here. So they don't really just like kick you out. They just eventually just close the door and people slowly get out. So it's pretty generous in that regard. And the stock's usually pretty good. But it's an at-sea day today. That's why I wanted to do it, because usually I'm in port at lunchtime. Anyway, that's a look at the lunch experience in the buffet on MSC World Europa. Chaos. Yeah, so that buffet experience is pretty full on. They do a pretty good job for the food to be as good as it is, considering how just crazy it is in there, but you've really got to be able to handle that storm of humans. Otherwise, you can do the a la carte stuff, and that is really yummy, really, really good. Okay, so just around the corner here, so we're still on floor 19. You've got some of the Fun Pass stuff. So the Fun Pass is interesting concept. So basically it's a way of giving your kids a card or giving a cash budget to spend on stuff. And then the more you put into it, they give you a bonus basically. So I don't know what the exact figures are, but basically let's just say you put in $50, I'll give you $70. And you come in here and just the kids have their own little room card. They can tap their room card in here, play a game. There's these experiences that they can have. This VR one's really, really cool. The kids love that one. There's more VR ones over here. Now, you can see it's quite empty at the moment, but I have seen it's quite busy. I think this has got a lot of play from our kids. So you can rack up a bill pretty quick, so just be wary. But through here, you've got the F1 simulator, which is the kind of the big ticket on this ship. Obviously, MSC is a huge F1 sponsor. You have this awesome simulator set up, and you can go in there. Just be wary, it does have a height limit. And the height limit's about taller than my 9-year-old. So basically, it's not to do with anything other than the fact they can't reach the pedals. But they also didn't really set it up. So my 9-year-old was so keen for it. He was so keen for it, and was basically told no. Whereas they could have just had put pillows under him or whatever, just found a way to make it work, I think. But that's the height on the wall there. So come with thick shoes on when it's time to get measured. So you got a 5D cinema as well. So what's not? Where's the thing here? Okay, yeah. So you use your the kids have been using the Fun Pass for the bumper cars. That's probably where they spent most of their money, to actually be honest. But they really enjoyable for obvious reasons. The Formula Race is cool. The queue hasn't been too bad either, actually. The interactive cinema experience. And then you've got the VR games as well. So you just tap, plus all these arcades and stuff like that. So that's how it works. Now, one thing I did find that was quite confusing, here we go, look. So if you buy €100, you get €140. If you buy €50, you get €60. You get a little bit of a bonus, right? So what's been was a little bit confusing for me is before I came here, I looked up some YouTube videos and so forth of other people that have been on this ship, and there was jungle gyms and zip lines and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just thought it was, obviously they hadn't been on the cruise because it's not, they don't have that stuff here. So that must be one of the other world ships that has those. So on MS World Europa, you've just seen everything that there is that you can use with a Fun Pass. Okay. And here we've got a teen club. So this is from 12 to 14-year-olds. You've got a little bit of space, table tennis table, and mostly it's about the video games. So you've got chess, more video games over here, bit of foosball as well. Okay, that was just a staff member doing the right thing and checking why I was in here, because it's obviously for kids. But yeah, anyway, that gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect in the kids club. Mostly video games, a bit of a space, but I'm going to get out of here because I really don't want to film kids. Okay, so we come through here. You've got a cool little arcade machine, a little secret arcade machine in here, which is set up with all these old classic games: Pac-Man, Mortal Kombat, Tetris, Outrun, Street Fighter 2, my favourite. And that's just free to play, I'm pretty sure. I think you can just go in and play. So there's no card slot on it. So that's pretty cool, little secret little bonus thing in here. And then through here, we have the kids club. So we're going to come back to this because I've reserved the time to come in and check that out when there's no kids in there. Okay, here we go, the junior club. Come in here. It's got like a submarine look to it. We've got some arts and crafts, foosball. Movie on here, a bit more foosball. Another movie on over there, there's arts and crafts over in the corner over there. And then here we've got a Lego room, which is really cool. So one of the games is probably to build your Lego and then build a race car, go down the racetrack. So obviously a big Lego theme, but being that I'm not a kid, I haven't been in here until now. I've just been waiting for an opportunity to come in when there was no kids around, just to be able to show it off. And I think you got younger kids come through here. So you've got a bit more of a toddler space. And here's a closer look at that baby club, which is for the 0 to 3s. It's not a very big space. Nice view. TV, yeah, so look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not over the moon with the whole space. I'm glad about the hours, and from my experiences on MSC so far, I'm sure the staff are lovely. Yeah, it's not the most dramatic of spaces, but it is good that they break it up. I'm really stoked that they do provide a 12 to 14 space. It's a really difficult age, especially for the girls. So I'm glad it's not like just a 12 to 17 space. I think it's good that they've got a 12 to 14 space and a junior space and then a baby space as separate things. That's definitely a positive. So it gives you an idea of the space that you can have on MSC World Europa for the kids club. It's got really generous hours. They will look after your kids long into the night if you want to have a big one. As kids clubs go, look, it's pretty basic. If you've ever done a Disney cruise, you can see what a kids club can be. But it's also bright and open, lots to do. And you can imagine when there's lots of kids in here playing with Lego, it'd be super fun. And a bigger focus on movies than games in the younger kids section, which I'm happy with. And it looks out as well onto the deck, so there's a chance you could be sunbaking over there or something like that. Still be within eye shot if required, without having to do any of the heavy lifting, so to speak. And there's some big kids. I like the theme with the submarine look in here, and there is a video game. There's a PlayStation controller. Alright, and some arts and crafts as well, which I'm not going to film because there's little kids doing it, but I can just assure you there is some. So you can see the opening hours there. Okay, so that's the kid club experience, and yeah, look, my youngest, who's 9. He's in the junior club. He quite liked it. He had a lot of fun in there. I think he was playing video games, but he liked it. My older two, the 14 and 12-year-old, didn't mind it, but they didn't really want to play the video games, which was the main thing that people were doing. And the biggest problem, I guess, was that they didn't have many English-speaking kids in there. So there's not many English-speaking families on board MSC World Europa for obvious reasons. And that was their biggest impediment, was that basically they went there hoping to make a few friends and they really couldn't. So I don't know, potentially they could do some stuff where they could set up some meet times for people with certain languages. There's so many different languages on this ship, and the Europeans tend to travel in bunches. So they're all here. I've noticed it like 3, 4, 5, 6 families together. So they're all really one unit. But yeah, so that's what they could potentially look at doing, especially for English-speaking kids, is just basically say, hey, if you come to the Kids Club at this particular time, that's when all the English-speaking kids are going to be there, and you can meet each other, and then they can go play sport and do all the kind of cool stuff. So you've got stairs here, the elevator experience, which I've gone through, and then you've got more stairs to the side, because this ship is super wide. All right? Now, we're going to go through the pool deck, and hopefully you can hear me once we get in there, because there's always something going on, game show or dance experience or some sort of sporting thing, or there's always something going on. La plage. Wow, that's very loud. So up here on the pool deck, you've got a pizza bar here. It also does chips. So there's always food that you can just grab here while you're by the pool. Cookies, chips, bit of salad. It's kind of an easy access lunch experience. Or just grab something if you've had too many beers. And then over here you've got ice cream. My kids love this one because it was included in the miners drink package. So you can get some ice cream over here. You see. And then there's a big bar over there as well. Sorry. All right. So we're just going to go up a little bit just to get out of the noise. But as you can see, it's packed now. But everyone's just got on board. We're about to sail away, so I understand why. But Lisa, show. So you got these big hot tubs, or whirlpools, that look out over the edge. They're really, really cool. I really like them. I love the size of them. They're not particularly warm. That's one thing I could note about them. But because they're so big, you can fit so many people in it. It's really cool. Now this main pool down here, what I really love about it, other than the fact it's so big, with a shallow bit in the middle for kids, stairs that go down, is actually quite deep. Like, it's deeper than me. I'm 194. So that's really, often you get super short. You get super short pools, like not very deep pools on all the cruise ships. But here, really nice deep pools, I love it. And yeah, you can see how many seats I've got out here. We've been able to get a seat pretty much every time, to be honest, despite the sheer number of people. Okay, I'm just going to move us through here as quick as possible. If I get another opportunity with good weather, I'll come back. Now up here, you've got these tiered seating. This is usually a good spot to get some seats, because people forget about it. But you've also got more hot tubs built in here. Now these are warmer, hotter hot tubs. Don't tend to get as many kids in them. There's one on this side, there's another one on the other side, roughly exactly the same spot. And There's a big screen there, but it doesn't do things like play movies or anything like that. I haven't noticed anything like that going on, which is good because I've been on cruises before where they just have movies constantly playing, and your kids just spend the whole entire time watching the movies while they're sitting in a pool. Here we go. Here's some unused sun lounges. Now up here, I just want to show you. Well, I'll go in from the other way, and this is called the top 20 deck. But I'll come in from the other side. I'll show you that. I'll give you the view down. So super cool space. So just so we're clear, that's deck 18 down there. Deck 19. I'm standing. This is deck 20, and that's that one up there, deck 21, where there was that tall whirlpool up there. All right, let's get out of the craziness.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that during this incredible cruise, we are gonna have the Lego, the Masterchef, and of course the Guinness World Record. E ultimi italiani, ebbene, avremo durante questa meravigliosa crociera dei meravigliosi eventi che voi non potete mancare con i vostri bambini, come il Lego, il Masterchef e il Guinness World Record. Ebbene, una volta con loro vi aspetteranno il 19 e grazie mille, Giore mia, ciao ciao ciao.
So that's the outdoor pool area there. Like I said, big pool, deep, really awesome, lots of seating, and then plenty of hot tubs as well. And then you come in here into the botanic garden pool. Here, you're underneath the roof, so you got that. You don't have to worry as much about the sunburn weather. It's almost instantly more humid. You got another decent sizable pool here. This place, they close the pools and hot tubs and everything out there quite early, like 8 o'clock or whatever. But in here, I think it pretty much stays open to midnight. You can come here and get into swim some laps, get into a hot tub quite late. So I'll show you what you got in here, as well as all this seating. You got a hot tub over here. You got another big one against the window, which is where you can see they're fenced off because there's more than 12. There's a lot more than 12 in it. And then over this side, as well as these kind of hanging swing chairs, which are awesome, and these big seats here, which are really comfortable. But again, like someone's just dumped that and walked off. You got another hot tub, and then this kind of side is a mirror image again. So we've got another big kind of hot tub hanging off the side. Like I said, they really police the 12 thing hard in here. But they don't seem to outside. Oh, it's just started moving. Yeah. I will say, you can barely tell it's moving, this ship. You can barely tell. It hardly ever shakes or moves or rolls. There's no wobble. You get none of that kind of like when you get off the ship where you're kind of like all a bit wobbly. You just don't get it. It's so solid on the ocean. The only time I felt it moving was when we got delayed departing from Malta by like 7 or 8 hours, and they had to go full pelt to try and catch up. Now, to MSC's credit, what they did was they ended up arriving 2.5 hours late in Barcelona, so they pushed back the departure time 2.5 hours. So everyone still got the full Barcelona time allotment. It was even a bit nicer because you could kind of still be in town, closer to sunset. It looks better. But yeah, they really had to like go full throttle to get us there on time. And that was the only time I really felt the ship moving, and it still wasn't that much compared to other ships I've been on. So very, very stable ship. If you're someone who suffers some seasickness, MSC World Europa is going to really sort you out. Anyway, so then we just moved back up from 18 to 19, so it's a bit convoluted, but that's just the way it's designed. I actually find it a pretty easy ship to get around. Like I've been on really big ships before, say Wonder of the Seas is one example, and I was so lost for so long. I really couldn't find my way around the ship. There's something about the design of this ship. It's actually pretty easy to work out where your room is, which way's up, which way's down, which way to the restaurant, which way to everything. It's actually I'm pretty impressed. I don't know what their trick is, but it just works kind of well. Now up here, we've got another bar, a couple of nice chairs, some more sun lounges. But we've also got over there foosball, And over this side, we have table tennis. Pretty popular. I actually haven't seen one empty or tried to wait for a game, to be honest. But they are available. There's actually some empty foosballs at the moment. Yeah, so really nice space in here, and I'm just really glad that they have somewhere where you can still just climb into a hot tub, have a cocktail, climb into a hot tub at like 8, 9 o'clock at night, you know. Okay, let's head on through here. Now let's find a map. Here we go. So we're on deck 19 at the moment. So what we've just done, we've just come from the kids club, which is over here. You can see that the ship's flipped now. Well, it was when I last showed you the map, because we're down the back end, so we're the red dot. But we kind of came through there, I showed you all the kids lounge, the buffet experience, and then we came down, walked into the chaos of the pool, and kind of came into we went up and had a look around the pool area, came back down to the Botanic Garden pool, came out to the Botanic Garden bar, and now come in here. Now, this entire front end of the ship, all up here, is all MSC Yacht Club. So it's the high tier of guest. I don't know if that's simply because they've got one of the expensive suites, or because they've got X amount of points, but for whatever reason. Now, if you have this thing here called the top sail lounge, or they call it the top 20. We're going to go up to that now. Now, if you're in a Aurea suite, so where are they? Well, not listed specifically. If you're in the Aurea suite, and I don't know what other categories, you get access to this lounge, which basically allows you to separate from the people that are down here in the pool area with its own space. So we'll go have a look at that now. Okay, so here we are at the top 20, which is that space up the top for anyone who's an MSC Yacht Club member, the Aurea suites, and so forth. So you can see already how much more space there is up here. It's not nearly as crowded. I have seen a full. You get a bit of a higher view. You got your own bar up here as well, which has got a far smaller queue than some of the other bars. Although, as you can see, like I hope you've been noticing, there hasn't been too many queues for anything, really. And then over there we've got another one of those hot tub whirlpools that hangs over the side of the ship. Another one on this side as well. And there are gates at the front here, so you can just walk straight down the bottom if you want. So for example, we've been up here, my wife and I having a drink, and then the kids are kind of down in the bigger pool, or they'll race down there to get involved in whatever's going on, play a little game, try and win a prize, and then just come back up, you know. So there's nothing particularly otherwise special about this, but it does give you that bit of space, so it's a really nice perk, which I was glad to have. Now I do want to quickly show you this. So you'll notice with this hot tub and a lot of the panels here, they're all tinted. So, I'm not 100% sure what the reason is. I'm guessing it's something to do with sun protection, but it does mean that you don't get that kind of clear view anywhere. Like all the way around, it's all tinted, all the glass is super tinted. So if you want to look outside, you kind of got to go into these little gaps. Otherwise, there's this kind of like this tinted effect over it. So yeah, I'm not over the moon about it, but I understand it. If it's there for eyes and skin protection, I understand it. But it would be nice if you could just get a clearer view out to the world. Okay, now we're going to drop now into the guts of the ship. That's the top of the ship. Only took gosh knows how long. And now we're going to drop down to the promenade, the main kind of hall down the bottom. Let's go. All right, we're back to the map. So what I've just done is just dropped us in the elevator from 20 down to 8. So in between here is pretty much just all cabins, and we'll get to a cabin review, don't worry, I'm going to do that a bit later on. But from right now, I just want to drop us down to here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us along deck 8, then back down deck 7, and then across deck 6, which is all kind of the entertainment, mostly restaurants and entertainment and shops experience. So let's go. So the first stop on floor 8 is the spa. Now the spa is pretty awesome. I haven't actually had a massage or any sort of treatment, so I can't comment on any of that in the spa boutique. But as part of the Aurea suites, I do get access to the thermal area, which is way down the back. It is absolutely phenomenal. Such a fantastic setup in there. It's like a Roman bath, so much going on. It's a huge perk for the room that we're in, but well worth visiting whether or not you're just like on a sea day or something. Just go down there for an hour, just get some tranquil time, chill out and everything like that. Yeah, giant spa, and that thermal area is an absolute peach. Really, really, really good. And one of my favourite spots on the ship, and I've actually gone there probably 4 or 5 times. You do have to book in because it's got a capped number, so just be aware of that. You do need to, you can either ring up from your room or come down here face to face and say, and I haven't had too many problems with time slots outside of the at-sea day. Where I still got in, I just didn't get my exact time, but it's open pretty generous, I think 9 to 9. So that's pretty good. Yeah, great added value experience there with the spa. Otherwise, there's stacks and stacks of treatment rooms. There's also a hair salon here as well, which you can see. So you can go in there and get your hair done, and waiting room out here, and then everything else is behind the desk down the hallway through those doors. Now, let's get into the ship. Now, there's a lot of things in here which aren't included. So let's just be careful. There's things that are included depending on your drinks package. So we've got the premium drinks package, so we can come down to the Zest Juice Bar here and get some pretty awesome juices. We've got the minus package for the kids. They get smoothies and all kinds of milkshakes and fun things like that. Otherwise, there's a lot of things like that that are going to be a little bit extra. Now, this is a really spectacular space. And one of the interesting things about MSC World Europa's route is it does this circle where it kind of goes around, from Italy down to Malta, then up to Spain and to France and back to Italy and around a circle. So every day people are getting off and on. It's not like there's a start and an end. So it's just constantly changing every single day. They've got the assembly stations set back up again, and the people in your room next to you might not be in your room next to you for very long, which can be handy because the guys in the room next to us are certainly loud. But you can only hear them when you're out on the balcony, so you can't hear them in your room, which is good. Now, this is probably my favourite bar. This is the downstairs. Up here it's called the Gym project, but downstairs it's called Master of the Sea, which is an English bar. I'll take a quick look inside. But it's gorgeous. They've just done such a great job. It feels like you're somewhere on a pirate ship, or you're, in an English pub for real. And over there you've got the Oceanic beer, which is actually brewed on board, and it's good. I'm telling you, it's really good, and you can get a draft down here. So this is my favourite pub, basically because I'll take you downstairs and show you. Down the spiral staircase, because I want to take you back up because there's more in the corner there. This is where I've been coming to do work. So I've got my laptop and just put my laptop down here and bring a beer straight to you. These cool little cushioned areas down here, which is good height for working. You've also got, Burnley versus Liverpool, 0-0. That's not good, I'm a Liverpool fan. And you've got a good selection here of on-tap beers. We know Dolce Pints, Newcastle Brown Ale, there's a John Smith's here, all this stuff I haven't had since I lived in England. So this is the only place I've found where you can get consistently good beers, otherwise it's pretty much Heineken or bust in all the other bars. They frequently have someone playing in here. So we've had a guy on a guitar absolutely ripping. So it's great. It's my favourite space. And then these guys are walking alone. Anyway, let's take you back up here at the gin bar, which I really wanted to come here. My wife loves gin. And I really wanted to have some time to come up here and just sit here and just try a few gins with her, but it hasn't happened. Just so much else going on. I just want to show you around the corner here because it's one of the few places with a pool table, which is free. You can use that. So there's one here and there's one in the Panorama Lounge, I think it's called. They're the only two that I found. If you want to have a go in the pool, the kids love it. But yeah. You kind of got to press your claim pretty hard. Like there was one time we waited for like 20 minutes, I hadn't sunk a ball, I was so drunk. You know, to get the staff to just say, can you just put a time limit on this? Like, and frequently you'll just come up there and there'll be kids there just mucking around, just hitting balls at the wrong end of the stick and stuffing about. So you just got to, press your claim a little bit. Okay, so that's, the gin project, and at the top stairs and downstairs is Master of the Sea, my favourite bar. Now here's a restaurant, Les Dunes. Now you get assigned a restaurant, and you can see on my card here, I'm assigned Les Dunes. So basically I've got a permanent table set up here that I can come and have my meals at when it's open. And the meals are really yummy and the staff are fantastic. Let's go have a look at some action in there. Okay, now here's a little secret. This end is blocked. You cannot get through there. So you can't walk through the restaurant this side. However, this side looks blocked, but as I'll show you in a sec, it's not. And then while we're walking on the way over there, other than marveling at this amazing space, which is just beautiful, they haven't done too much stuff in here though, like that's been interesting. Like they haven't done like a big parade, or every now and again you'll see some people come through in suits or avatars or whatever. They haven't really used this as a focal point for entertainment. Like, yeah, no big parades, no big kind of fanfares, balloons falling through a roof, anything like that. If it's happened, I've missed it. So I don't really use it for anything else other than just kind of a gathering spot and walk through. But anyway, we're going to go down. But yeah, I said before that I felt like it was a bit understaffed. And some of the wait times, not because there's too many people, like you can get there to be 5 people in the bar and it can like just line up along the bar, it can take forever. So here's that back way, here's a secret way. So you got a pool table there. This takes you around a really cool little space. The tea house, which is awesome. Nice little, it's all dressed up down the back here. There's some information on the walls you can read. It's got a little experience. I don't think most people even know it exists. I didn't know it was here for the first 4 or 5 days. Yeah, so you go to the bar, it's got a really weird system where basically there's someone walking around with an iPad taking orders, and then they get sent off to the computer or something, and then there's someone making the drinks. So you never know what order you're in, you never know how long you're supposed to wait for, or you're going to be waiting for, how many people before you. And then often the guy with the iPad will just stand there, even if there's no one to take the order, no one to take an order off, while some other guy's got like 7 or 8 drinks lined up he's trying to make, half of them cocktails. And you're just sitting there going, dude, like seriously man, like can you get behind the bar and just do the drinks? Okay, here's the tea house. So a really fun little space. My wife loves this space. Come in here, get some really fancy, nice teas. It's nice and quiet, out of the way. I've never seen it packed. And you can get a few little bits and pieces in here. There's not too many places kind of outside of meal times just to get something to eat which is healthy. This doesn't help, but at least you can come in here and get some tea and a cookie or a little pastry or whatever. I feel like I'm going to ruin the mood if I hang out in there. Yeah, it's a tea room. So a really fun little funky place. And yeah, my wife loved it. We also got some tea ordered to the room. She asked for some chamomile and it came up. It was so well presented. Now we've got some specialty dining experiences on the other side. I'll take you to in a sec. Up here we have the Fizz Bar. It's a champagne bar. So obviously that doesn't need too much introduction about what goes on in there. They do champagne. The only reason we're not big champagne drinkers. Like we like it every now and again, but we're not going to go in and just down champagne all day. You can probably see through there. Sorry, they've got it fenced off. I don't know why. Maybe they've got an event in there later on. But there's an outside section that hangs off the side of the ship. It's one of the few places in the ship where you can do that. So you can go sit outside, get an outside experience and still be in the bar in the middle of the ship. So that's really fun and cool. What's disappointing, there's 2 things that are disappointing. The first is, oh there we go, it's a private meet and greet with the captain. That's why it's closed off. Is that there's no wine bar, which is a real bummer. So there's a champagne bar, but no wine bar. I would have loved a wine bar, especially in my premium drinks package. I would have loved to have just sat down for an afternoon and just sampled a ridiculous number of really tasty wines and just learn about them and that. I would have loved that, but there's no way to do that. Obviously you can have wine at any of the bars, but there's not a wine bar. And the other thing is that some of the opening hours for some of the places are just really crazy. So that Master and Commander bar that I took you to before, like it doesn't open till 4. See, the number of times I've come to come in off the port or whatever, I've rocked in at 1 or 2 and I just want a beer. And that's the only place that has good beer and they're just closed. And sometimes the staff would just be standing there twiddling their thumbs. So I don't understand that. That's why I'm wondering if they're understaffed. Like the water park guy had to stop the waterworks because he had to go do the show. And then they can't open the bar until 4 o'clock, like one of the main bars. Like there's things like that. Really there's 6,000 people on here, potentially more. Just the bar should just always be open, the waterworks should always be open. Anyway, another private event in here. This is the Elixir Mixology Bar, which is for the premium drinks. So it's a proper mixology bar. Everything in there is more expensive than the premium drink package. So no matter what drink package you got, you're spending money if you go in there. I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't. Elixir Bar, I mean, it's a great sign, it's cool. It's a really fun looking space, but yeah, not included in your drinks package. Now over here is the first specialty dining restaurant we've come across, which is the Garden Kitchen. I have done it. Let's go have a look at the Garden Kitchen. So early first impressions, I'm not over the moon. I'm hoping to be surprised, but I've got to be honest, there wasn't the menu, it's Nordic inspired. So there was nothing in any of the sections that I really wanted to eat. That's me personally, like you might jump at it. Really interesting combinations, like really interesting. I had to look up a lot of the food, like embarrassingly. Like, what is this? So that's part of the adventure, I guess, with the kind of experimental Nordic theme they got going on. But like I couldn't decide in the end. I just let her choose. So we'll see what happens. I guess that's the deal with the chef's garden. Is you're coming here to experiment with your food, and the staff have been fantastic. The staff have been really, really lovely. I had some really good conversations with them. So they're great. But the food just hasn't hit the mark for me. I like the presentation and I like what they're trying to do, but just not. Yeah, at the end of the day, I didn't eat my main and I didn't like my dessert. My wife fared a little bit better with her food, so you're just going to have to accept that you might end up getting a meal that you might not like because it's so different and so unique. So I'm kind of happy I went on the adventure just to see what it was like. I think it's important to add though that they came over and asked how we liked our meals, and I was honest. And on both occasions they said, we'll get you something else. So they were straight away, they were like, we'll get you a different main. What do you want? Try something else. And they said, we'll get you a different dessert. Try something else. So I didn't think that was fair. But I think they're probably aware of the fact that there's a chance that you might not like the food. So I think they were pretty happy to just give you something else. So that's something that I think is important to note, because if you choose to eat here and you end up going for something experimental and you don't like it, they were really quick to actually go, here, try something else. So I didn't feel awfully comfortable doing it because I didn't think they'd made a mistake, but it's important to note. Okay, proceeding through. I have a feeling this is going to be a very long video. They often have camera guys around all the time taking photos. If that's your thing, you can easily get a photo taken and spend whatever it is to get on it. They've got a jewellery shop here. There's a watch shop at the back. I'm going to take you out now to the World Promenade. The World Galleria that we just come from, and now we're going to go into the World Promenade. So here's a map. So I've just kind of walked from the spa. I'm just walking through here. I'm going to take you out the back there, and then we'll drop. Okay, so World Promenade. So awesome space, looks fantastic at night. It's all lit up they've got those big light shows out here. There's been heaps of like dance parties and DJs and events out here as well. Obviously you've got rooms facing in here, so they're going to be, they're for people who don't mind a party or happy people watching. So there's a couple of shops around here, luxury accessories, and there's a watch shop up the corner here. These are one of my favourite places, the Coffee Emporium. This place is awesome. They do great coffee, they do all kinds of different coffee. They do slow roasted coffee, they've got funky machines left, right and centre, and it's all included in the premium pack as well, drinks package. So we've just been able to come down here every morning. It very rarely gets busy, which is cool. We've got all this coffee they're making in here. And you can get a really nice coffee, and there's very rarely a queue, which just surprises me because the Europeans love a coffee, particularly Italians. And they do have some food in here as well, but bizarrely, you have to pay. And I think that's a real shame, because the number of times in the middle of the day I've really wanted to just get a little sandwich or something like that, or a piece of sushi, or like something like this, perfect. But that's what I most want to have when I'm hungry, and out of hours. But the only thing you've really got, which we'll go to in a sec, is the pizza and burger bar, or that place up at the pool I showed you. Coffee Emporium, awesome, one of my favourite spots. Now over here, we've got La Pescaderia, which is a Greek-themed seafood restaurant, and it's a specialty dining experience. Let's go and have a look at that. Okay, here we are sitting inside. What I really like is that the outside world promenade area, you wouldn't even really know it existed. I only say that because it can get really loud and really party atmosphere out there, which is great for everyone who's probably not dining. But the glass is really thick, you wouldn't even know it's happening. Inside, it's basic. It's not particularly themed extraordinarily well, but it's got that kind of Greek flavour of the whites and the blues. Think Santorini, nice big plates. It does feel a lot like one of the Greek islands. You can see the wheel, the sailor's wheel up on the wall over there, the blue and greenish aqua tiles and everything like that. So it's got that kind of theme carries through, but for the most part, it's white, it feels modern. The seats have got nice cushioning to them, so they're not just like wooden backs. So yeah, I think overall it's pretty nice with the netting and everything. It's Greek island, it feels Greek island. If it's Mediterranean, it feels Greek island. Now the way that it works is that you can choose, so this is page 1 of the menu, and you can choose any 2 appetizers that you like from the cold or the hot. I don't know if you can see those coming up there, but you've got a fair few choices. Nothing's got an extra cost, so it's just choosing whatever you want. You can choose 2. And then you can choose on the following page, you can choose a main course from either the sea or the land, so a single main course. This is part of the, if you get the specialty dining package, which is what we've done. So you can get 2 specialty dinings for $89 or 4 specialty dinings for $169, I think it is, which is what we've got. And then you get 1 dessert. So that's the way it's going to work for you. So you've got 2 starters, 1 main and 1 dessert. Our waiter is from India, he seems lovely. And the way that's worked out so far with our specialty dining experience at MSC World Europa is basically you're pretty well fed. If there's anything you don't like, they're pretty happy to change it over. But hopefully we get it right first time. All right, let's go. Okay, well our time at La Pescaderia is over. And great staff experience, a lot of food, feel really, really full, very full. It's pretty much unanimously yummy. Pretty happy with it overall as a destination. Like I said, it's great that you're out there on the right against the World Promenade, but you really don't know what's happening. It's not in your face. There are outdoor tables, so I think if you're out there, you'd notice it a lot more, but that's obviously a bit of a choice. I loved how at the start they took us up and pointed us out all the different fish options and scallops and all the different kind of seafood options there. We weren't allowed to select them. That was really, really fun. I think the themes carried across okay. It's not like outrageously over the top, but it's, I'm getting a vibe. I'm getting a Greek vibe here, and the food was very, very Greek, and had that seafood kind of theme running through it that I thought was really good. It's a bit of a shame they didn't have some reds on the menu, but when I asked for one, they did supply one, so I guess that's not really a complaint in the end of the day. But overall, yeah, it's especially a dining experience. I think it's been quite fun and quite cool, and I'm happy that we did it. I am really happy that we did it. All right. Now, as we continue through, let's go to top deck, by the way. There's a top deck up top there, so you can sit down and bottom. I haven't seen that busy actually. It hasn't really been that busy. You've got the watch shops over here. This is where the Venom slide comes down. So after all that time of walking around the ship showing you this footage, I could have just come down the slide. We'd be here now. Now, it's the elevators on both sides here, but unfortunately they only go up to the 18 top deck, which is where the slide. So you can go down the slide and go up the elevator straight to the top, But considering how long the elevators take everywhere else on the ship, it's just a shame that it doesn't just stop off at all the floors as well, because it's just the more the merrier with that stuff. Now up the back here, it says it's called the Lanai Bar, but there's also like a malt lounge here. And then you got over here, you got this Sweet Temptation, which is, as you can see, lollies, milkshakes and everything like that. This is all extra, so it's not included. You can't just rock down here and get stuff. I'm not 100% sure if the kids can get stuff in here on their minors package. I haven't actually tested that out. They've been getting stuff from elsewhere. But yeah, this is all kind of that extra stuff. There you go. Build your own sundae, 3 scoops for €9. Right. So DJ's going at the moment, so hopefully I don't get copyright infringed. If I do, I'll just have to dub over it. Okay, so in here you got this really nice lounge. It's one of my favourite places to sit on the boat. Unfortunately, they only have Heineken here, but you can get take you through down here. They will come and serve you at your table though on your seat. And this is the whiskey bar. So you've got some really killer top shelf whiskies here, I'll show you. Some in the premium drinks package, some beyond it. So it'll be a lovely place to kind of come and just get a really nice top shelf drink. And it's a really nice spot to sit out here. But if you're not familiar with Europeans and smoking, they chuff like chimneys non-stop. And while it's a really pleasant place to sit, even just sitting here, my clothes have got so rank with smoke that it was actually just putrid. The kids refused to sit out here, unfortunately. But it's a great place to actually hang if you can cope with the cigars and cigarette smoke. And you get to watch the wake of the boat, which is another good place to sit. And it extends to that side as well. All right, okay, we're going to go back inside now. Okay, so we're back to the map. So I left you back here, at the very back of the ship. I'll come down to 8, I've got to drop to 7. We're going to have a look this way, and then this way. Which starts with the casino. Now, I'm not going to comment on what I think about casinos in general. I don't personally gamble, but people do. People love it. So we have the Signature Casino here, and I've seen it pretty well used, but not massively used. It's a big bar in the middle, which has got very rarely got a queue, so you can get some stuff in here. It's part of the Aurea suite that I have. You do get to have a $5 budget to just play in the casino, so I haven't used it yet. I'm hoping to win back the flight. That'd be great. But the good thing about the casino is that being down where it is, you don't generally have to worry too much about it. It's generally out of the way. But the kids do need to walk through it if you're going to the Panorama Lounge, generally, which is one of the places we're going to get the shows. Panorama Lounge, you can see here. There's a couple of really good performance centres here. The shows have been, I thought, reasonably good. That's the other table. I told you there was 2 tables. That's the other one. The bar here. So there's some pretty good productions in here. At the moment they're doing bingo. It's drawing quite the crowd. Who would have thought, huh? But this is the place where I said you can get a nice view at the back. And you have done some really good stage productions here. The performers are really, really good.
How is it going so
But it's a little bit
Good or bad?
odd. So it's good just when they're like kind of singing and dancing, but when they try and do an actual production, it's the theme seems to be very, I don't know what the word is, not taken very seriously. Anyway, let's go back to the casino to the other side. Okay, so we're back to the entrance of the casino, still on floor 7. Gonna head now back through the main thoroughfare. It's probably a good time to talk about the drinks. You know, some cruisers can definitely get some flack on the strength of their drinks. I have not encountered a problem with that at all. In fact, some of the drinks have been way stronger than I would have liked. So they definitely have poured with an intent to thrill, if that makes sense. So it can take a long time to get a drink, and sometimes unexplainably so, but they definitely give you a kick, there's no doubt about it. So over here on floor 7, we've got the photography area. They do a lot of photos here on the stairs in front of the chandelier, beautiful chandelier. And yeah, all your photos are going to be found in there. Now as we come through the thoroughfare here, so right now we're probably 2 hours after we embarked. So the thoroughfare in the middle here is getting pretty busy. The pool's becoming less exciting, but it's still not bad. So in here we've got some specialty dining experiences. So we've got the sushi bar here, and in there we've got teppanyaki. So I haven't done the sushi bar, but I have done the teppanyaki, so let's go have a look at the teppanyaki. Now, on the set menu thing that we've got, so if you buy like a package, you will choose between the katana or the sencho. These are included. And the only difference is it's the same pretty much setup, except the katana has the sea bass fillet and the chicken breast, and the sencho has the Atlantic salmon and the sirloin. And then the shogun is a extra expense if you want that. Staff have been great, food's been great. The guy who did the chef, he had a nice personality, everything was kind of cool. Show was very low end, like there was no like flipping the egg into your mouth, there was no giant flames, there was no lemon into the hat, none of those theatrics that I've encountered almost with every teppanyaki I've ever done before. So I thought the show was, it wasn't just our guy either. I'm looking at the other tables, no one got that. So okay, so what's the end verdict on the teppanyaki experience on MSC World Europa? Look, I'm really full. Some of the food was really, really nice. Not all of it was hit the mark. The ginger ice cream was, at the end was a little bit, it was an acquired taste in this ginger. The kids wouldn't eat it. My cut of meat on the final meal wasn't that great. The rest of it was really fantastic. But I think, yeah, look, I'm calling it average. It was an average experience. It wasn't elevated to the heights of being special, because, you know, teppanyaki is about the show and there wasn't much show. But despite that, I'm really full. Most of the food was quite delicious and the staff have been great. The sake I had was really nice actually as well. But overall, teppanyaki needs more theatrics to create the atmosphere which makes it special. And that was lacking, and that's where they need to improve in the future. Now I'll just show you here, I got these specialty dining packages. So 4 for 169 is euros obviously. 3 for 129, 2 for 89, you could do them individually, as you can see there, with the taco being the cheapest at 22, this per person of course, and there's a set menu in each of those places. And I've done 4 of them at this stage. I'm hoping to do the taco one tomorrow, so you can see more detailed reviews of all of them. But this place here, this little box here in front of the teppanyaki sign is where you're going to sort out most of your specialty dining issues. Well, where you're going to book them and so forth. Okay, let's keep going through. Now over here we have Hola, the taco place. If I do end up going there, right now I'm going to take you into the taco joint. Okay, so here I am sitting in the Hola Tacos and Cantina on MSC World Europa, which is a really vibrant looking place actually. It does feel like on the streets of Mexico. The music's playing. Got the Richie's tequila up on the wall. Love the chairs and the way they've all laid it out, and all the different variations of burning your tongue off with hot sauce. So yeah, it's all, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty empty. It's always been pretty empty when I walk past this place. Now let me explain how it works. So this is a specialty dining experience, but it's also kind of not really. So basically you can get the specialty dining experience is the all you can eat. So you pay €23 and you can have as much as you want of everything. So that's quite a lot of food, because you can also just order a la carte. And if you look at the a la carte prices, and they're the flat prices as well, there's no plus or anything like that. It's not too bad. Like salsa for $2.50. You can have a enchilada for $10, burrito for $9, small nachos for $7. There's some ice creams and bits and pieces, tamales. So it's a bit of a hard menu to keep open. Some quesadillas, some tortillas. So everything is like reasonably priced. So I actually just ordered. I came in here intending to do the specialty dining experience, and then in the end, I think I'm going to be full without reaching $23. But anyway, that's the experience. So if you really love your Mexican and you're really, really hungry and you want to come here and absolutely dine out, you can get the all-you-can-eat option. Otherwise, you can just drop by at a cost, so it's not included in your your flat rate for the cruise. But if you want to, you can come and get some specific things off the menu at not too bad an additional cost. Plus, obviously, there's drinks, which I'll try and open out for you. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, it's really difficult. So, what you'd expect: tequilas, margaritas, some Coronas, Dos Equis, and so forth. So that gives you a bit of an idea. And these, obviously, if you've got the drink package, you can just these are all included pretty much, because nothing's over $14, which I've been able to find so far. So the premium drinks package, you can just come in and get all the drinks anyway. Okay, well, my brief foray into Holla, the specialty dining experience on MSC World Europa, has been a total success. Staff are great, lovely little ambience they've got down here and the vibe. My margarita was beautiful and the food was delicious. What more could you ask for? So totally recommend, if you get an opportunity and you're looking for a quick bite to eat, or really hungry and now got the specialty dining and get all you can eat. Far out, I'm so full after what I had anyway. And I spent €20. But yeah, anyway, thumbs up, totally recommend this one. And continue on. Now this is the most sought after specialty dining experience, the Butcher's Cut. I have eaten here, it was freaking fantastic. Let's go in and have a close look at the Butcher's Cut. Okay, so I've just sat down in Butcher's Cut. Already had some great banter with the waiter, the guy called Aldo from Mauritius. And they've served some bread up. It's got a few different varieties of bread, some baguettes, some ham and cheese, or cheese and bacon rolls. We've got some chili butter and some smoked butter as well to go with it. Love the setup in here. Like most steakhouses, it's kind of got the dark browns going on. Love the wine, love the brown and red mix. Well, I'm not going to lie, I feel super fat, but the meat was really, really good. Really, really good. We pretty much all struggled through our food. Like, because every single bite has been so amazing that we've all wanted to continue on, but that was way more meat than I was ready for. But we're having such a good time. We really are. And especially dining is about more than just the food. It's this experience. That's what it's supposed to be about. Great staff, great food, great experience. It's delivering on all fronts at the moment. We've still got dessert to go. If I can fit it in. Well, we've reached the end of the Butcher's Cut experience and really happy with it. Really happy with it. Food was fantastic. Staff was great. Atmosphere is fantastic. Nothing to complain about. Wine was good. Cocktail was good. So yeah, I don't think you're going to be disappointed by going to Butcher's Cut. What a great experience that was. So if you're going to do one specialty dining, that's the one. That's really good. Okay, we're coming through. That's that secret exit to the tea house up there. So just give you an idea of where we're at. I do like the indoor kind of plants or the vertical gardens. There's another one. There's more greenery up there. And of course, I will talk about this later on, but this fantastic roof that goes through the esplanade here is sometimes it's got snorkels and snorkelers and whales and fish and stuff today. Or at the moment it's like a, I don't know, it's like an acid trip. Not that I would know what that's like, of course. All right, we'll continue on. All right, so we're coming through further along. So that's the Masters of the Sea. I took you in there before. That was a two-story thing. So you got the gin house up above, you got the Masters of the Sea down below, my favourite pub. I stopped there after I filmed this because my throat is gone skis. I love this little kind of like effect they've got here with the, I don't know, what do you call it, webbing going down. It's a beautiful space. It really is beautiful. Nice, big and open. As you can see, it's like a packed ship right now. Sun setting. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I was expecting, I got to tell you, I was expecting quite the gnarly experience with the crowds, but it hasn't been nearly as bad as the internet made out it was going to be. Okay, TV studio and bar. So they do things in here, such as karaoke. This is one of the big karaoke bars, another bar at the back there. And they do karaoke and a lot of fun games and stuff in here. It's a pretty quiet, tight, claustrophobic space, but they do a lot of fun stuff in here. So this is where a lot of the activities are going to be through here.
Hello.
Hello.
Oltre discoteca.
I think hola was incorrect. She spotted me. All right, now here's the eye joint. So you can come here, they'll take photos of your eyes. The kids got really into it. They took all these photos of the eyes and then made art out of it and then charged €500 for the cheapest bit of the art, which wasn't to be unexpected, but far out. That's a little out of my budget. But it was pretty cool seeing all the family's eyes side by side. We could finally find out who had the bluest eyes. It was Jasmine. And who had the greenest eyes? It was me! Okay, now let's go all the way through. Now this Elko, I'm seeing that tonight actually. It's going to be quite interesting, I think. So here's the World Theatre. And the World Theatre is the main stage that you're going to come across. Now a lot of these things you have to book. What I've noticed is that you can book book seats to come in. They don't always have bookings. Sometimes you can just turn up. But if they anticipate it's going to be busy or at a busy time, you have to book on the app. But if you don't book, you can seemingly come in and just stand at the back, and no one seems to mind. But I'll show you out down here. So a really lovely space that they've set up down here. Takes up the whole back of the ship. Sorry, the front of the ship. You can fit a lot of people, I think 700 or 800 people in here. Most of the shows will run multiple times during your voyage, giving you a chance to see everything. I haven't seen nearly as many shows as I'd like. We usually like to do at least one big show every single night when we're on a cruise. But with the ports, with the daily ports, and then coming home and then having a dinner, and we've done 4 specialty dinings as well, we just haven't had the time. But like I said, everything, the production's really good. The performances, like the performers are fantastic. Just some of the narratives leave a little bit to be desired. You're like, what the hell? We watched one that was, what's her name? I'm going to stuff this up. Emily Earnhardt, the first lady who flew, was it around the world? Something like that. And yeah, I mean, it was really fun. It was a great show, but I got no idea what it had to do with her. It was a very loose interpretation of the story. But as you can see, beautiful space. Really, really nice. So this feels like a good time to have a look at the app experience. So it's you know, it's really robust. It really works really quite well. You've got your ship map. You've got virtual concierge, so you can talk to them. You got your billing, which is going to take you through, you know, the damage, and then you got the daily activities. Obviously a big thing. And it's kind of late now because we're leaving, as you can probably see. We're leaving Italy, but we've still got dance on. We've got piano melodies by Giovanni. We've got live music in the top sail lounge. We've got a Let's Dance. Bumper cars are on. I know my kids are at the bumper cars at the moment. We've got guitar vibes in Master of the Sea, which I was telling you about. There's a guy down there always just doing some cool stuff. Sundowners, DJ set Ibiza style. I'm actually going to check that out, hey. It's at the World Promenade. So it's in this main space over there. We've got a jewellery thing going on. We've got a dance class. There's been quite a few dance classes. Lots of DJ sets all around the place. Piano medleys. You've got that show Elko, which I'm going to see tonight as well. And yeah, so karaoke superstar. Like again, I just want to give you an idea here, basically of, I don't even know if that's coming out on camera, but hopefully it is. But just how much stuff is on. This is just in the last 6 hours of the day, and this has been going all day. So there is a lot. There's during the day there's a lot of trivia. Obviously, we just walked past bingo before. You can see a general knowledge quiz here. I've seen like board game experiences. But you can probably potentially see there's nothing specifically kids focused. I'd like them to do better with that. I'd like to see like kids soccer or kids trivia. You know, like, I don't know, well, I was about to say Wiggles, maybe Dora the Explorer, Simpsons, something like that, you know. Do the kids still watch The Simpsons? Yeah, it's kick ass. It goes all night. Now, a lot of the stuff, and I don't know if it's a European thing, but a lot of the stuff starts really late. So they've had kids' discos, had a silent kids' disco one night. It started at 11:15. And my kids are asleep, man. So some of that stuff I wish they move a little bit further forward, but they've got to balance with the shows, they've got to balance with dinner time, so I understand it's difficult. But I just wanted to show here there is a lot going on, and way more than you'll get to. And we've done some fun things, like we went to F1 trivia, for example, and there was a karaoke experience we went to, and dance classes, and you know, there's been stuff constantly on that we can go to. Plus, you know, the waterworks and the spa, the hot tubs, and the thermals, and all the other stuff that we're doing as well. It's also important to note within this app here, you can go in and you can have a chat option. So this allows you to set up a chat function with your kids. So they got their phone, but you haven't got them the internet package. You can still chat to them through this on the ship Wi-Fi. So it allows you to say things like, "Oi, where are you? Get back to the room and pick up your underwear, you mongrel." So you can type that and send that off, for example. It's also got your itinerary up here. It's up here to show, so you can select things and give yourself a daily program, which helps you work out where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, especially if you're hanging by the pool and you forgot what time it is, which happened to me a lot. Now I just want to quickly show you this. So this is your best bet for a walking path / jogging path. They don't have one up the top, but they do have one down here on deck 7. So on deck 7, look how beautiful that is. Gorgeous. On deck 7, you have got a bit of a space that you can move around. It doesn't go all the way around, but you can kind of go the length back and forth a few times with, no one else around, if that's your thing. And I know it's a lot of people's things. It's not my thing. My thing is to run as fast as I can for the buffet, but if it's your thing, boom, there you go. Space. Okay, you still with me? What an epic, huh? We're down to deck 6. Here we are. So that was the World Theatre above us. We've kind of come through from the theatre at the one end, and we've come all the way down there. Now drop down. And here we are on deck 6. Okay, now over here we have the secret telephone box. I'm sure you've heard about this. So in here is how you get to the secret bar. Did I go into the secret bar? No, I did not. Did I get an invite to the secret bar? I did. But after talking to sommelier at the specialty dining restaurant Chef's Garden, we had a good chat about wine and so forth, and she said, you know what, I can get you in there if you want to go in there. But I knocked it back, mostly because the kids couldn't come in, but also your premium drinks package doesn't actually work in there, and you can't just go and check it out. You're supposed to go in there and drop a bomb on drinks, and I didn't really see the value in that, so I didn't actually go in there, but there is the telephone box, which actually broke mid-trip, and then I fixed it. All right, let's have a look down deck 6. So we're on the bottom level now. Now over here we have the Luna Park area, which is kind of ties into the fun pass experience. There's a few things down here. I'll see if I can navigate my way correctly through it. So through here you have another theatre. So I'm actually looking forward to this. They're going to do an Ibiza symphony experience in here tonight, which I really want to see. So I'm assuming they're going to take Killer House and beats and then do it with orchestra instruments. Sounds cool, right? But it's a bit more of a dance floor experience in here. And you kind of come up here on the second floor, but it also drops down to floor 5, the bar at the end. So that's the kind of Luna Park bar. It's a little bit different actually. It's really different in here. It offers a kind of third entertainment area on top of the Panorama Lounge and the World Lounge, which I showed you before. Now, as we venture further along, there's an old schooler. He's got my kind of hairdo, playing some Pixel Bash. Okay, so in here we've got some more arcade experiences, and as I come around, you will see the cinema. We've got a games arcade, so we've got the other games arcade that's way up on deck, whatever it is, 18 and 19. And then down here we've also got the cinema experience, which is also part of the fun pass, as you can see it here. And you get to go in and have a cinema experience. The kids have done this a few times. They thought it was awesome. Really enjoyed it. So the 5D cinema. So where you're going to find it. So you don't have to have the fun pass or whatever. You can just do it. But it also works with the fun pass. Yeah, we've got werewolves, ninja neon, and zombies. We've actually got this on the Gold Coast. We did it on the Gold Coast. Exactly the same things. Okay, now over here, sorry, we're slightly backtracking. We have the pizza and burger joint. So this is end-to-end, non-stop pizzas and burgers. It's not just pizza and burgers, that's unfair. So you know what, let's go in. So over here you got 3 different types of pizzas, which do change. Some garlic bread, and then there's a whole bunch of focaccias as well. And these dudes over here just standing in front of the furnace, just pumping pizzas all day. It's really impressive. A whole bunch of different drinks options here, some of which you have to tap your card, take your water. And over here is the burger bar, which does more than just burgers. It does like chips and tacos, hot dogs, you can see there, one lonely hot dog. Some sweets, some bagels today. There's been donuts before. Wings are a big thing down here. And usually that's just got, there's some fries up there. Usually there's pumped with burgers as well. And something healthy. So basically this is where, whenever you're hungry, you can just come here. There's even arcade machines. You can just come here, sit in any of these booths, whatever, just grab whatever you want and just fill the hole that is inside your body. So, and there's sauces, there's all kinds of things. So it's great that it's here. I've used it a lot. Usually I come in off a port day and I just like, you usually embark on deck 3 or something, or deck 4. And I just go zoom, 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 up here, straight over here, pizza, because I haven't eaten anything since breakfast, usually. And then just smash a piece of pizza or some thing of fries or whatever. Then go up to Master and Commander, Master of the Sea, get myself a killer ale and then settle in for the evening's entertainment. So let's talk a little about the experience down here. So you got this, what do you call it? Stunt FX for any of you N64 gamers. Polygonal kind of mirror effect going on here. You got this roof thing which changes all the time. It's always got something alive up there. It just changes the whole scope of the whole place. And then yeah, this big open space which just, you know, it can definitely feel busy at certain times of the day, but it never really feels that busy. And for a ship with so many people on it, I've got to hand it to them. They do seem to move people around well. They've got future cruises over there. I'm sure you know what that's about. That's where they give you discounts on your next cruise. Now over here is the chocolatarium thing. Where is the actual official name of it? And this is all extra. So this is included, obviously. It's all, you know, boutique chocolate experience. There's also crepes and gelatos and sorbets and things like that. They all cost extra. I don't think any of it's included in any of the kind of drinks packages because it's not drinks. Pretty cool, hey? Look at that, seahorse, octopus, thing. So is that Winnie the Pooh? Don't know. Maybe. It smells great in here. Here we go. Jean-Philippe. Chocolat and cafe. Yeah, so you can probably get your beverages here as part of your drink package. But obviously all these macaroons and chocolates and so forth, they're all going to set you back a bit more than your cruise experience. Shopping gallery over there. Some people really get into this. I just don't get into it at all, but some people really do. So they had an event of the day here, and I was doing some sort of special there. It is 30% off watches, 25% off perfumes, and there was quite a crowd actually gathered here for the sale. So people do really get into it. I personally don't. So I'm not going to be able to offer you too much advice other than to say that they sell you things that are expensive. Over here, I've got a boutique store. There's a guy up there with a snare drum, look, and some saxophonist and a guitar. Oh look, it's changed. Manta rays. Keep an eye on my channel. I just saw a manta ray when I was doing a cruise review in Tahiti, French Polynesia. All right, let's just keep soldiering on and get through this. Oh, they have themes as well, like theme nights. Like there was one night that was like black tie. There was another night that was the white party. The white party was actually really cool. I was seeing everyone dressed in white. That was actually awesome. Okay, now down here we've got two very important spots. We have the Dolce Bar. Now over here is the closest bar to your exit point. So if you've got a drinks package or whatever, it's a handy place to fill your water bottles up in the morning. There's a dance class going on here at the moment. We've had trivia down here. It's a really nice little space. It's really close to kind of the elevators. There's a bar over here. We actually spent a bit of time here in the Dolce Bar. Happy with kids. It's really good. And over this side, we have your excursions and your guest relations experience. Now, this is probably the longest I've seen the queue. It hasn't been that bad, I've got to say. I've been on cruises before where we can wait for hours. Considering how many people on this ship, it's not that bad. Plus, they all speak different languages. So one time I was here at the back of the queue, and some lady comes up and goes, "Does anyone speak English?" And I went, "I speak English." And I was the only English speaker in the whole queue, so I got queue jumped. But that's your guest experiences, your guest relations, you know, and your excursion desks here. Now, I should mention excursions. I haven't done any of them. We're a family of 5. They were just all so far out of our price budget, there was no way we could look at them. So I can't give you any feedback on the excursions. I'm really sorry about that. I can't tell you a thing about them. But other than to say, there's lots of options, and they will cost you a pretty penny. I don't know if it's value for money or not. I honestly can't tell you. Okay, so we're leaving the Galleria, and we're coming down here into what I believe will be the Hexagon Restaurant. So these are more of the restaurant experiences that you're going to be able to have on the ship. Like I said, everyone kind of gets given a restaurant that they can go to. The Hexagon one, I think, is really cool. The Hexagon, I think there's two. There's Hexagon, which I can only assume is another language for hexagon, potentially Italian. There's Hexagon over there. And you can see the hexagon effect straight away. It's all through the bar. It looks fantastic. And I will say the food in here is really good. Really, really enjoyed everything I've eaten in here. And so if you don't want to do the buffet, you want to have a sit down a la carte menu, this is where you come. It's a really good experience. Go have a closer look. So at the end of Hexagon, you've also got the Bubbles restaurant, which is again another one of the restaurants that you may be aligned with. And I mean, there's so many people here, right? So they've got to offer a dining experience to everybody. So you might have early dining, you might have late dining, and then you'll be lined up into Hexagon, Les Dunes, Bubbles, which you can see here. Or there's also La Formaggio, I think, down below us. And so you might end up in one of those. And there's slightly different visual experiences, as you can see, but the food menu is identical. So it doesn't matter which one you get lined up on, you're just going to end up having a same menu, slightly different visual experience. All right, so we're back at the map for the last time, I promise. Okay, so we've just done the zigzag. We've gone wham, 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 up to Bubbles. Let's come back to here just to show you this. Now below there's La Foglia, sorry, I can't remember what I called it before. There's La Foglia restaurant. It's just more of the same, so it's a slightly different look, but it's the same menu you're going to get. So you either, depending on how you end up, you're going to get divvied up between here, or there. It might be more basically on, you know, wherever you get divvied up to, basically. I didn't want to mention, that's level 5. I didn't want to mention one last place, which is number 4, the medical centre. So there is a medical centre on board, it's down there on number 4. Sadly, we have had to visit it. I had to visit it because if you recall, but when we were way back here at the Sportplex, I told you that my son stacked it on the rollerblade. Well, that stack ended up being a potential broken wrist. So we came down here to the medical centre, and we had that experience. Better or worse, and actually the doctors were really, really lovely. They were really, really nice, and got him sorted really effectively, looked after him really well. I was really happy with the experience in the end. So yeah, if you have to go to the medical centre, you're going to get looked after. My son was the only person in there, so everyone else was well behaved, just not him. And finally, I should reference as well that each level at the number, but also a destination. So we're on level 6. This is Rome, marked by the Colosseum to help you navigate and get around. So you will see all kinds of different places as you go up through the floors as well. All right. Whew, what a tour. We're not done yet though. Let's head up to the room. So if you didn't already know, the MSC World Europa is huge. And these hallways kind of go forever. And there's nothing particularly special about floor 12, which is where I am, 12179, other than to say it's kind kind of midship, as in height-wise, and we're towards kind of the back end, which is the end with this big slippery dip. It's also the end with the buffets, and it's not too far actually from the elevators. But you got to go up and you got to go down more or less via elevator or long sets of steps. It's not near the top or near the bottom, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go look inside. So one of the first things you're going to discover is that this is one of those rooms where you need to have a card in to get power, like so. Now some cards, some things seem to still work even if there's no card in, like charging has still seemed to work, but that obviously mostly controls the air conditioning, I'd say. And it's a bit of a pain because what happens is that someone's card's in there and then they grab it and leave, and then there'll be someone in the bathroom or whatever and the lights will turn off, or but I have put in another hotel card in there and that worked, so that's an alternative. I think the idea of people not running aircon constantly for no need is a good one, but it is still annoying. Now, Aurea Suite. So this is obviously a suite room, which makes it a bigger room, and you can probably tell straight away there's a lot of space in this cabin. A huge amount of space, really. In fact, I could almost, that's got to be, oh geez, a metre and a half at least between the mirror and the bed, probably even pushing towards 2 metres. So a huge amount of space in here, easily enough for what is effectively a queen and a double bed without too many hassles in terms of being squeezed together. You can still got, you know, a bedside table between the beds. Anyway, we'll go into this room a little bit more in a sec, but let's just start at the entrance because there's one cool part of this room which I really, really love, and there's this side set up here. So it's 2 bunk beds. So off to the side here with a separate curtain that goes through. They've got their own little reading lights as well, as you can see, like so. And it's actually good mattresses, you know. So a little bit shorter, it's a little bit more compromised. It's for kids to a certain extent. However, my oldest boy, who is pushing 6 foot, can fit, you know, with his feet kind of slightly touching the back. So I think an adult could easily sleep there. It's the same as a sleeper train, for example. So I'm pretty impressed with the quality of it overall. A little bit of a bumper to stop kids falling off. The mattress is good. The whole setup's good. The kids have actually loved just kind of being in here and having a little space to themselves. They can close the curtain, read their books and stuff like that. The only thing it doesn't have, it's got a slide out drawer here. So you can kind of have a little bit of stuff down here, and obviously space underneath the bed for storage. Nice little ladder. It's a really lovely setup. The only thing it doesn't have is any power points. You do get USB-A, as you can see under the lights there, so it's not completely devoid. But USB-A is, you know, as of 2025 is definitely phasing out as a tech, so you're probably not going to be able to use it. On most modern devices, they needed to have USB-C. Everywhere should have USB-C now, but they should, or a power point somewhere, so they can just charge their Kindles or their phones or whatever. Small thing, but that would have been a little bit of a good addition. Now on this side, we've got our air conditioning unit, which is currently off because I've got the door wide open. The door to the balcony, which I'll show you in a sec. I found the air conditioning to be like good in that you can't hear it, you don't know it's on, so it's really silent, which is excellent. That's what you want. I feel like it comes out of here as well, but it has at times struggled to combat the heat coming through the door when the sun, that Mediterranean sun, is just belting onto the door. I have found it to get a little hot during the day. It kind of struggles to combat it, but at night I haven't had any problems. It's been really quite comfortable. So overall, I'm giving it a pass mark. Now let's go into the bathroom in here, which has plenty of space for the toilet, which is good. Sometimes they can be really compromised, and like a big bloke like me, I'm 6'4", you can't fit in, your knees kind of hitting something. So I'm happy with the amount of space for the toilet. It's loud when it's time to flush, boy, you know it in the hallway outside. But at least it gets rid of the stuff real quick. Pretty good sink, I think. So nice little corner, nice little design, and a little bit of hanging spots, a couple of shelves up here, just enough to get things out of the way. A little shaving mirror. It's well lit in this room, really well lit. There's nothing particularly fancy about it, you know. It's not, you know, it's just kind of hard plastic, and, you know, not stone or anything like that. I mean, there's a tile effect on the floor, or tiles on the floor, but not in the bath. I think it's okay. I think it's all right. I think overall, they've done a pretty good job in the cabin, and as you can see, with the general kind of color scheme, it's reasonably modern. It's not super white, but it's definitely not dark, old school colors. It probably could have done with a bit more blue or a bit more color. So a kind of browns, off whites, greys, brown carpet, you know. But you know, it doesn't look bad. And I think considering how big this ship is and how many rooms they would have had to kit it out, I think they've done a pretty good job finding a good middle ground between feeling nice and reasonably luxurious without being super over the top luxurious, which would have cost them a fortune, and definitely not feeling shabby and cheap. So I think they've done a pretty good job. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the bathroom space in here. Like, that's a lot of floor space. The only things that have kind of I'm not so happy with is this is the room with a bathtub, which is great. I love having a bath. It's awesome. It's great in particular for families. So if you've got the kids in here, you can bath a young kid in here, or the kids can have a kind of play. So it's always good to have a bath. But when you're a tall bloke like me, I'll show you the problem. Like I literally, like I can't stand. Like that's my head. That's me standing upright as I would when I'm having a shower. So even with the hand nozzle, I can't shower in here at all, other than sitting down, which I don't want to do. So basically, I've actually been showering out on the pool deck. So that's the way that's had to go. Otherwise, despite my personal height issue, everything else is sweet. So you got the, you know, everyone else can fit under here. So if you're less than, I reckon, you got to be less than 6 foot to be able to happily shower in here. 6'1", 6'2", you probably your head's going to be, you know, right up against this. I'm 6'4", I can't fit. So that's probably about 6'2" here actually. So yeah, you want to be under 6. You want to be under 6 foot. Sorry, 6'2" here. But otherwise, everything's nice. Everything's clean. The cleaner's been doing a great job coming in each day and dealing with the mess that my five months I put together. You got shower gel, hair balm, and shampoo. Nothing specifically called conditioner. So that's just something to note. If you've got long, crazy hair, like me, you might want to bring some conditioner with you. But at least you've got the pump packs, like the little old school little packs. And there's nice little storage things everywhere. And there's a huge space underneath here as well, including a little bin. So yeah, overall, I think the bathroom's really good. Just wish that I could fit in a shower. And I suspect in the ones that don't have a bathtub, you're going to have an extra, you know, that much amount of standing space. It's probably going to sort most people out. I might still be slightly compromised, but that bath definitely brings the floor up. So that's something to note. If you don't get the room with the bath, you're definitely not going to be as compromised in the shower at height. But you obviously lose the bath, which, depending on the age of your kids, is a huge positive. Okay, into the room proper. So like I said, lots of space. Love this huge mirror. There's another big mirror over there as well. It just helps keep the place really, really light and bright. You've got reading lights on both sides of the bed, plus the lanterns, plus the kind of light around the outside, and in-ceiling lights as well. So she's pretty well lit. Not spectacularly, not spectacular, but it's more than enough. The bed, I find it quite comfortable. It's one of the ones that's split, so you can kind of split it down the middle and go two singles, sorry. But I haven't found that split to kind of come apart at night. I've been fine with it, or we've been fine with it. Nice thick mattress, quite comfortable. Pillows are really, really good. And what's also cool is that in the Aurea suite, there's a pillow menu and you can select your pillow. Now it was a bit of a process. It actually took 24 hours to get here, but my wife wanted one that has the concave, see that? So that was on the menu and she ordered it and it arrived on the second day. So that's good. You know, that's what she uses at home, so she was really stoked to see that. And as you can see, the guy's been through here this morning and cleaned it all up for us. So it looks good. There's heaps of space underneath the bed. So we've got stacks of bags under here, so that's kind of where all our storage is for the bags, all our backpacks and everything, they're all under there, and that keeps the floor nice and clear. Now over here, let's talk this mattress. Now this is the sofa bed, so this is if you've got a 5th or potentially a 6th person in here, because you could definitely fit 6 in here, I'm assuming they allow it. Now that mattress isn't as good. I think for kids it's fine, but as an adult, when I lie on this, I can kind of feel through to the metal frame a little bit. It's got a bit of an awkward bump in it, which is actually classic sofa couch experience. The mattress could have done with a little bit more thickness, I think, but you know, my son hasn't complained. I just noticed it when I lay down on it to test it. I was just like, oh, geez, at 100 plus kilos, whatever I am, I'm kind of going through this. But otherwise it's fine. The only thing I'm not happy with is that it stays up all day. So I really do wish that, you know, when the bloke comes through in the morning, I really wish he packed it down. And then, you know, and then at night, when he comes to do that, because he comes back at night time, then open it back up again and set it back up. Because you kind of got a lot of compromised space here during the day. And even though there's a lot of space, it would be really nice to just have a couch and be able to sit on the couch, have a little table here. The kids like playing cards and things, doing their homework, which they've got to do while we're away on this trip, for example. Watch a bit of TV, although I'll go into the TV in a second, it's not much use. And yeah, so I just wish that they packed those down, packed them down, packed them up. That'd be, at the very least, what I think people would expect in this suite, if not any suite, or any stateroom on the ship. Now, over here, we've got more storage. It's pretty good. It's nicely built in. I like the little angles that they've got going here. I like that it's kind of slides apart. I haven't had anything rattling or rolling. To be honest, this ship barely moves. And we've got stacks of storage space in here. So you've got that with the drawers, with the shelves, with the top one. You get supplied with towels at the start of the trip. So it was 5 towels that we got in this room, and they said basically there needs to be 5 towels in here when you leave, otherwise we're going to charge you 30 euros per towel. Having said that, more towels than what we started with have just manifested in here, so I'm not sure. I think it's just a bit of a guard to stop people from like taking them offshore and not bringing them back and things like that. They don't seem to be too ruthless with it unless you start, you know, joking around. But space for the shoes and lots of wardrobe space in there, and then that's replicated over here again with exactly the same. So same setup, and you've got robes and slippers, as you can see down there as well. So pretty happy with the storage space. There's 5 of us in this room. They've got a lot of stuff, and everything's out of the way. So that's pretty good, I think. Okay, let's talk about the TV. Now the TV is, look, it's probably a lot better if you're not English speaking, but as a English speaking person, there's been not much on there at all. It's basically a couple of news channels in English. Otherwise, of the 30 odd channels that I scrolled through, there was nothing for us to watch in English at all. They do have some smart TV capabilities, like there's a YouTube app, but it wouldn't load for us. So I thought YouTube would have been really handy. Like you can watch whole episodes of TV shows and animations, and you can watch my videos on on YouTube. So YouTube would have been enough, but it didn't work for us. So that's a bit of a shame. And there is like on-demand movies, but they charge you 9 euros a pop to watch the movies, which I thought also I was disappointed with. I thought there should have been at least some on-demand movies which are included in the price. And just so you can just, if one of the kids gets sick or is having a bad day or whatever, you can just put him in here and put on a cartoon. You can't do it. So the TV, basically, we haven't used it. It's next to useless for us. But like I said, if you speak Italian or German or French or whatever, there's more options available to you. Now, in this room, we started with the, I think it's called, what's it called? I've forgotten. There's an experience you can get, and it comes with champagne, a couple of glasses, strawberries and chocolate. So that arrived, that was here when we got here. There was also a big bar of dark chocolate and some scent as well that you could, around the wrong way, some scent that you could set up. You also get in the Aurea suites the coffee pods. But we've actually got the drink package, and there's a great coffee shop downstairs, so we actually haven't had a need to use that. But if you don't have that, it's obviously going to be more useful to you. Now here's the minibar. So the minibar is definitely worth talking about. So as part of this suite, you do get your first minibar included for free and not your subsequent ones. So these are our bottles of champagne. We actually haven't had them yet. But what it came with was a sparkling water, a still water, 2 Heinekens and 2 cans of soft drink. That's it. So better than nothing, but certainly not much, especially if you don't like Heineken. So I really, we had the champagne anyway, so the champagne's not included. I want to be very clear about that. So you won't get that in your minibar when you open it. I think they could do better for the sweets. I think a bottle of wine, a few more beers. I mean, there's 5 of us, and there's 2 waters, 2 beers, and 2 soft drinks. So that means that 3 of us would have to miss out. You know what I mean? So I was pretty disappointed by that. I was expecting more in that, even though it didn't affect me personally, because we got the drinks package anyway. But just for you, so you're aware, yes, it comes with a minibar, the first free one complimentary, but you know, other than having a quick beer when you first get on board, it's going to be over and done with pretty quickly for you. I think there is some more storage space in here, which I've managed to fill up. There's a safe in here as well, which I like the way that's built in. It's nice, big safe. If you want to have that security. And a little bit more stuff in here. Now, internet's been interesting. The internet's been working pretty solidly in the room without problems. We've got the internet package. I've got speeds of 70 up, 70 down, 1 second, and then done it like 4 minutes later, and then it's been like 5 and 10, and then done it 30 seconds after that, it's been 30 and 30. So it fluctuates a little bit, but it seems to be enough to always kind of stream stuff, do emails, all that kind of stuff without a problem. Curtains provide really good blockage from the light, so the light bleed isn't really an issue. In fact, I'll close it now, just give you an idea. Wait a sec. I've got the door open, which isn't going to help, but yeah, so I don't think you can see, but it's blocking out a full day of light pretty well, and it's just showing a little bit in the corner there right now because the wind's blowing through it. So pretty happy with the light bleed, it's good. Been really happy with the sound. You can hear footsteps from upstairs a little bit, every now and again. Well, yeah, if people are walking up and down, you can hear it upstairs, but it's not bad. Haven't been able to hear TVs or anything from next door. So they've done a good job with all of that sound as well. These are all tucked under here at the moment, but I suspect they're probably usually there if you don't have the bed set up. And onto the balcony, because the balcony is super generously sized in the Aurea suite. I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. I did look it up. Just the 2 chairs, which is not unusual. They're not the world's most comfortable chairs, because as soon as you sit on it, see that beam there? It's really uncomfortable. You just sit on it and like half a butt cheek ends up on here and half a butt cheek ends up on here, and you've got this huge metal bar in your bum. So yeah, not happy with the chair design out here, but I'm really happy with the amount of space. It's really, really good. The glass is nice and clean. I came and cleaned it on the second day we were here, actually cleaned the whole balcony. No hanging racks though, so there's nothing. I should just have something here or something there, just some way of hanging up a towel or wet costumes or something, just so you can dry it. Look at that, the Mediterranean, eh? Beautiful. Now with the door, I'll show you this. So it slides like so to here. That's the up is the slide position. That kind of gives it a little bit of a lock, so you can kind of like, I think you can like slide it and lock it there, so it doesn't, so it's kind of still. But for the full seal, you've got to go right up to here, and then you go, and go down and down. And it blocks a lot of the sound out, and it blocks all the wind out, and you don't get a whistling through it. And then up here, you've got an important inclusion, the ability to kid lock it, so a kid can't get out there, which is obviously the biggest fear, I think, for many parents. It's certainly one of our biggest fears. So this whole setup, I'm really happy with. Now, I will tell you, the day that we got on here, I came in and it wouldn't seal. You could see full cracks through there, and I was like this, you could see daylight through here the whole way through, and I was like, oh dear, the seal's broken. that's going to whistle like crazy all night. And then when I opened it up, oh, with the lock on, I protected myself. This thing was all hanging really loose, and it was just hanging out, flapping like this. And I've gone, oh, the seal's broken, right? So I went downstairs to guest services, and I said to them, I showed them a photo of it and said, look, this is what's happened. And they went, no worries, we'll send someone up. And a couple of hours later, no one had turned up, and I was really worried that the first night was just going to be like, or wind. So I called up again about 2 or 3 hours later. I said, look, just making sure someone's come out to fix this seal. And I went, yeah, someone's come out to fix the seal. And then I went off, came back, and it was all fixed. All right. Then 2 days later, this delivery came. So it was a bunch of macaroons and a bottle of champagne with 2 glasses in it. And it was a thank for your feedback. We apologise for, and I'm like, I couldn't work out. I thought they delivered it to the wrong place, and I was like, why have I got sent this? And then I rang them up and said, oh, I think this might have been delivered to the wrong room. We didn't order this, and I haven't put in any complaints, so I'm worried I've got someone else's drink. And they went, oh no, that's because of the door issue. So I was pretty impressed by that. I really wasn't expecting it, and yeah, I thought it was a nice gesture. Right, so we're back to where we started. This is Naples, and we've done the full tour on MSC World Europa. It's time to wrap up my thoughts. We've had a really great experience overall. Hasn't been perfect, but overall we've had a really good experience. The kids have had a lot of fun. We've eaten well. The food's been pretty awesome the whole way through. The staff have been fantastic. The destinations have been really solid, really good. Some of the ports have been difficult to deal with, in particular Barcelona. But the experiences in the actual ports, like the places to visit, are really, really good. I guess the biggest issue we've had is that there just isn't enough time. So 7 nights, 6 port days, 1 day at sea. And there's so much to do on this ship, there's so many things to see, but they've got really awkward opening hours. And it can be really challenging to actually be around when the thing that you want to do is on. For example, the lunches in the Hexagon Restaurant are delicious, but it's only open for an hour and a half in the middle of the day. And so when you're at port 6 days out of 7, I only got to have lunch there once. It was really nice, and I was like, damn, I really wish I'd had more there. A lot of the stuff seems bunched in the afternoons and evenings, so a lot of the kids' stuff will go right through to midnight. And it's quite exhausting when you're staying up because you want to do all these activities, you want to see the show, you want to have a really nice dinner. So you get up from the port, you might have been walking around the port or doing stuff or exploring all the way up to 6, 7 o'clock at night. You get back in, you have a drink, you get changed, you go have a meal for 2 hours, you come out, you watch a show, you try and watch a show, and you come out and then there's like some disco or some activity or something that the kids want to do and everything. Next thing you know, it's midnight. And you go to sleep and you wake up late because you're so tired, and then you do it again. And so that kind of day-on-day repeat is part of the fun, it's part of the experience, but you've got to be up for it. Because it gets you, I guess my point is, I really wish there was just another at-sea day somewhere in the middle of it all. That I just wish, because obviously you can get on anywhere in the loop. And so we had the at-sea day on the 3rd day, and then did, port. And I just would have loved another at-sea day somewhere towards the end, just so I could just make use of the facilities that are on the ship, because there's so much fun stuff to do. You got this slide that's right here, if you can see it. Coming down here, I've got to go on it once. Waterworks, I managed to get on there once, not from lack of trying or want or desire, just because the opening hours were so awkward, and I just couldn't get on it. One of the things that people say they do worry about is when you're on these big ships that you're going to be queuing all the time, like queuing, you're always going to be queuing. Didn't find that at all, to be honest. The buffet gets super busy, like it's a sea of humans that you got to try and push through, which I find really awkward at my size. And I found that the majority of the guests are not very polite. I don't know if it's a culture thing. I think it's a culture thing because I've noticed it in the ports as well. But don't expect them to wait for you to get off the elevator. They'll just push straight on even as you're trying to get out. Don't expect them to just get in the queue at the buffet. They'll just shove straight in front of you. Don't expect them to see that there's only 3 pieces of pizza left, so just take one. They'll just take all 3. So that kind of I guess common courtesy stuff that you might expect in Australia, you're just not going to get it in Europe in general. And so when you're kind of dealing with that and a lot of people around you, you can become a bit flustered. But you never have to really truly wait. The only times I've really had to wait are the elevators, which just take far too long. But again, that's not because there's a queue of people, it's just that the system they've got just takes far too long. And the bar system, where they've got someone taking orders and someone else making the drinks, that system I don't really like at all. That creates a wait where there isn't one. So you can literally walk up to the bar and there's no one else there and then still have to wait 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes for someone to put a drink in your hand, and you're just like, just do it. Like, do it. You know, don't go through this process. You know, don't go find the person who's got the iPad who then wants to take your order, then go back to the other person who's then moved on to clean a bench or get some cups, or, you know, or someone else has rocked up and he's talking to them, and then, you know, that kind of process. So that's kind of where I found the waiting to be more than anything. Not in actually just like, oh, I can't do this thing because there's a queue. Oh, I can't do this thing because there's a queue. Like, we went to the bumper cars one time and there was only my 3 kids there, you know, despite there being 6,000 people on the ship. The fun pass stuff, yeah, I thought there'd be more, but that's not the fault of these guys. That's just that when I looked online, it just suggested that there was jungle gyms and more facilities on here than just the, you know, the bumper cars, the cinema, the F1 simulator and that. But the kids really did get into it, and I think they had a bit of a thrill just kind of being able to go and just kind of like play a couple of games and watch the cinema and go on the bumper cars and not have to really stress about it or ask mum and dad, you know, and just kind of do it. So that was really cool. We didn't make great use of the kids club in the end. My youngest son, he kind of liked it, he enjoyed it, he didn't have a bad time, but we were just in port so often that there really wasn't that much time there. I do think that they could do a better job of helping English-speaking kids find other English-speaking kids, because the vast majority of people on this particular ship, MSC World Europa, do not speak English. So my kids were unable to make friends, and we were unable to meet people. So the only people I really had a conversation with on the ship the entire time were the specialty dining staff and the waiters and that, who were lovely, and our door bloke, who was awesome. Like, all the staff have been great and really fun to chat to, and they come from my side of the world predominantly, like there's Indians, Indonesians and Filipinos, that kind of thing. So that was a good experience. But yeah, I haven't, like, it's such a transient crowd. You don't just kind of like bump into the same person in the spa all the time, or bump to the same person in the pub all the time, and have, you know, which happens to me on other cruises, including big ones. You know, where you just always kind of, you find people to have a chat and a good time with. That hasn't been able to happen. I think it's because we've spent so much time off the ship, and because people get on and off on different days, and you just don't know where the English speaking people are. Like, no one's wearing a sign saying, you know, speak English. Yeah, so anyway, that's just a bit of a wrap up. There's a lot of thoughts there, but these little things haven't gotten in the way of what's been a really good time. We've seen some great places, we've experienced things. I thought the shows were a bit hit and miss, but they were always like, there's a lot of wow factors, a lot going on. There's always been something to do, whether it's trivia, whether it's the F1 simulator, whether it's just going for a swim. It's always been able to get a sun lounge, and the drinks have been really good quality as well, not watered down at all, like good proper stiff drinks, and plenty of hot tubs, plenty of places to swim. So overall, definitely a thumbs up experience. But some things I think they could work on as well to make for a better experience, in particular for those of us who are English speaking. Anyway, I'm Chris Stead. That's a very extensive review of the MSC World Europa. I hope that was of use to you if you're wondering about going on this. I hope you do go on it. We've had a good time. Anyway, keep an eye on the channel. Plenty more coming out. Till next time, I'll check you later.